Bottom. Hi, and welcome. I tell you what, it feels like it's been a hell of a lot longer than a week. And so welcome to another fun-filled stream with the Cortex group with the Empire in Flames campaign. New episode. We've had quite an exciting episode last week, but tonight's episode is number 34, Book 2, Empire in Flames, 1152, episode 16. Episode name: The King is Dead, Long Live the King. I don't know if he's muted. His mouth moved.
Whose?
Oh, yours, Talbot. Is that who's just pouting at the camera?
What? Is that your new thing, just pouting?
I don't have tech problems.
Really?
You don't have what? You don't have what problems?
Tech.
Oh, tech.
I thought you said something different. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going with something different as well.
What else could it sound like?
Let's not go there.
Woohoo!
Woo! We'll be back to the shipyards again.
Thank you very much, Affluvia. It comes. God damn it!
What?
FC Cord Neon Green long sleeve, $34. FaZe Clans. Sod off.
What?
Well, you're not watching the stream, so the stream just came up and we're now advertising stuff. Oh, what's that thing on? That's new. I don't want to press it. Can you see that?
I'm not watching the stream. I'm just in chat like. So.
Oh, I don't know if I want to press that.
Don't do it.
I'm pressing it. Pick a card, scratches, redeem points. Are you been on my stream messing with stuff?
Me?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to blame me.
I haven't touched out.
What the hell is this?
Well, there was press. You've got to turn off the face crap. I think you've probably enabled
random
something.
admin problems brought to you by Cortex Group.
It doesn't. Oh, what's that do? Right, it doesn't even show up on OBS, so it's obviously a Twitch thing. Never mind. It's not as if anyone actually listens or reads the disclaimer. So yeah. Right. Well. So yes, Affluvia, thanks very much for the resub, and Ivan, welcome to the moderator team. Obviously, it's a high level of responsibility that's been thrust upon you.
Uh-huh.
And with
no one else can do it.
Yeah, with great responsibility comes great. No wait, with great.
Well.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't pay. With great responsibility comes no pay.
Slave labour. So yes, last week, bit of an Arnung episode. We had Arnung, who should have been bleeding out on a table when everybody went to sleep. We had Framling come back downstairs in the morning. Leaf was snoring feet up, which is not the usual the depth of sleep that Leaf enjoys. But Renyir in the front room was also similar. They were acting a little bit strange. They didn't feel too much like themselves. And as the group was about to look for Arnung stepped back in nonchalantly. Yeah, so there was a bit of conversation about that, trying to get to the bottom of, how he seems to have. He's a bit of a plucky bugger, He picks up quite quick. Strolls in the early morning, makes a cuppa. We fast forward as the day goes by, of course, and we have a unexpected, I suppose, interaction, really, a knock by Oberlander, an appearance of the King of Middenheim, who is there clearly to send a message. He's there to have Arnung take a sail off the Cliff of Sighs. It didn't look like it was going to work out well for Renyir, Leaf or Framling either, at least by Oberlander's belief system. And just as Arnung retaliated in kind with his basically belittling conversation, telling Oberlander he was nothing, explaining to Oberlander that he'd made a promise to his old friend Fordell, and that this promise would be fulfilled. That it was time, that Arnung had been awoken, he'd been brought back, reminded of who he was, of what he stood for in himself. And then he subtly made an indication to his man, unexpectedly. We all thought Renyir was Arnung's man caught by Oberlander, but it turned out for the last decade and a half it was actually somebody a lot closer, Ludwig, the man that was running Wolfrunner coaches for him. Nobody knew. And as Ludwig stepped forward to execute Oberlander for Nordland and for Arnung, he was stabbed through the kidney and then exploded. So I would just like to point out from the group's point of view that we are literally still in those positions. Renyir basically dives forward, puts a knife into the back of Ludwig, and the man blew up. So Renyir, I don't know what, you want to keep a hold of that dagger because you are completely oblivious to anything else. You went, ha, stab, boom.
I got it in my mouth.
Yeah, and he exploded. So that's a magical dagger. Arnung has a magical finger as he went, you're done! And Oberlander and his good friend Ludwig exploded. And Leaf's just standing there going, crap. Ooh, Framling was glowing. But obviously from Leaf's point of view, he has never seen two people explode. So frustrated by this argument that their blood pressure must have soared and they exploded. So literally, as brain matter, broiled blood and gore explode around the room, splattering down upon its occupants, splashing up the window, there's a stunned silence. And maybe one of you is thinking, poor Joseph, he thought it was bad with a little bit of blood on the floor.
Joseph's just going to set fire to that house. Walk away.
Just off to the drowned rat.
Just let it burn.
I think I'm becoming a deep sea fisherman in the Sea of Terror.
Yeah, I hear the gladiatorial ring in Nuln is more fun than this. So yeah, that's effectively where the episode ended. This is where the episode begins. There is a little bit of exploded kidney, a little, a slither of lung, slops from the roof atop above, from the ceiling, landing on the table where two eviscerated men. There's a smell of burnt flesh and hair. Maybe there's a foot on the floor. And a stunned silence as all four of you look at each other. Arnung to his finger, Renyir to his knife, Leaf to the ceiling.
I don't have time for this. No one threatens me. No one. Everyone seems to forget I am Semnathai. Semnathai. That means nothing to you in this time, this place. But to me, for this affront, there's no way anyone speaks to me. I have more problems, more issues than anyone could know, and I have little time for this trite nonsense. Arnum, I'm sorry for the loss of your man, but I have little time to offer more than that as an apology. We will talk later when time permits. For now, we go sort out that Temple of Morr. I have had enough. I have things that are happening, machinations in play, and there is no time for this crap. Right. Let's get ourselves tidied up. Leaf, we are heading to the Temple of Morr. Arnhem, if you have men in place, I'd like that place secured. I'd like us to know what's going on. We're going in. We're going to go in and we're going to completely destroy that aberration of my father's will. Are we ready? Are we ready?
We are ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, all right.
Let's go.
You don't want to plan it?
The plans are already in place. Your men were to check out whether to access where we could get in. Arnhem now, we are aware, can provide us with some extra protection in terms of awareness and scouting abilities of the city presence coming this way. What I have just done now has sort of a beacon that will shine high above the city to anyone who can read the signs. There is little time to be messing around and thinking. We need to get in there and get in there fast. And this aberration, this foulness to my father's name cannot exist for any longer. We go in, we take it out. Arnung, do you have access to men, not to provide muscle, but to provide the ability to give us a warning if we're going to be intercepted by anyone from the city?
I think for that, Leaf is your man.
Leaf?
I can't really provide serious kind of like fighters. I mean, they're just
not asking for that. I need scouts. I need people to let us know if we're going to be interfered with by the city proper.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Right. Well, let's get ourselves cleaned up so we can walk above without drawing too much attention, and then we go in. We go in tunnels, Leaf, or through the front door with one of these things in a box.
I'm tempted to ruse it up, but we could go through the cellars. I mean,
can your men create a distraction above?
Oh yeah, easily. But I mean, whether it would draw them out or not, whether they'd be interested, it's.
Can they make it interested? Can they make it a distraction that would interest them? Could it be something that would draw someone's attention away?
How opposed are you to torching the entire temple?
Very.
All right. So the temple doesn't get touched. Is that what we're saying, or?
It is a temple to Morr. It will have to be rededicated to Morr once we clean it, the house. But I don't wish it to be torched. Also, this city is somewhat of a tinderbox. If we go around torching everything, there won't be anything left for this city.
Okay.
If you can think of some way of bringing them out, a large party to go and see someone and ask for services, a rowdy party that's so overcome with grief that two sides start causing a fight between each other because they blame each other for the death of their loved one, something that would seem reasonable in that context of Morr and a Morr temple. And while that's going on, we go in through the sewer and we go in fast, we go in hard, and we destroy what's in there.
How do we destroy it?
Well, we destroy the people. Leave the thing that's down there to me.
Okay. We take care of anything human?
Absolutely. And there is no ifs and buts. No one in that sect lives. Are we agreed?
Yeah, normally I would deal with this kind of thing with poisoning, but I mean, you're looking to face off against them. Just bear in mind, these guys are like tools, they played it up.
Leaf has a point. I don't think any of us are up to fighting them head on.
Well,
I know I'm not.
I'm not too sure about you, my friend. You seem quite immune to the normal humdrum lumps of steel thrust through your body. As long as we can keep your head on your shoulders, you should be fine.
Yeah, I could take hits. I'm aged.
The poisoning idea, Leaf, that sounds slow. It sounds like that could take days.
Potentially. I mean, another method is literally kind of like flammable liquids and sparks. It doesn't really matter. Well, yeah, but I'm burning individuals rather than the temple now. So maybe we need to deal with the plated people. I mean, we do not have the facility in this group to deal with that. You do. I don't. It's effective defense, They're fully plated up. They're not wearing robes here. We will not be able to take them down, I don't think.
I can't bring forth power on a regular basis. What I did just now
so I suspected.
is due to anger and not clear foresight of a sort. My frustration's burning out. But so you're saying going in with a load of naphtha and torching individuals?
it might stop them from running through. Yeah, I mean, it's armor. We need to deal with it in some way. Sneak attack is one thing, one guy, but once the alarm's raised, that's out.
Can you get men here who can start throwing that stuff?
Not of that caliber, no. Well, throwing the stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Dousing them, pre-dousing them would even be useful, you know? Maybe kind of like cause some shit outside and have them throw this stuff as well as vegetables or whatever. Get them doused up, and then kind of like if we meet them, spark, you know? But I can't see any way around. I don't think we can go kind of like man against man and expect to come out on top of that.
If you draw a crowd outside though to bring them out, is that not likely just to bring the city watch down on our heads?
Well,
Or
the city watch,
or the city soldiers?
Yeah, that they can be bribed off. I mean,
you could bribe them off if there's a riot going on outside of the Temple of Morr. You could do that.
It depends on whether Goebbels gets involved, to be honest, but generally I don't think you would be that bothered about that kind of thing.
Arnung, what say you?
I don't like the fact that we're going in completely unknown.
It's not completely unknown.
I don't know what we're up against. That shit that you've just pulled right now. I mean, what? None of us are prepared for that.
And neither will they.
I trust you 100%, Framling, but there's a lot of unanswered questions.
You've seen the so-called priests of Morr, those knights, those armored men that chased us. That's what we're up against in terms of what's down there in the corporeal world, in the physical world. There's other things, or another thing down there, which is my problem.
Okay.
But I need those armored people, those knights, those cultists, for want of a better word. I need them gone. They're doing nothing but bad things in my father's name. So that's your world, Arnung? Yeah.
You know, you said to let you know if anything different happens from the cut.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You're not feeling well?
No. You told me to tell you that I wasn't feeling well. Well, when I wasn't feeling well. I told you at the start. I needed you to check me over.
What is it, Renyir? What are you feeling?
Not 100%.
Anything more specific?
It's not my realm of expertise. I know how to get in places.
Well, yeah, no, but have you got a bad belly? Do your feet hurt? I mean, what's the score? Do you just feel a bit weird? You got a headache? All right, there you go. Tell you what, I'll go and have a word with some of the boys, and I'll leave it to them to see if they can draw these guys out of the temple. See if they can cause a distraction, at least get some idea of numbers, that kind of thing, and get them to report back while you're doing that.
Renyir, you just sit down a second.
I'll sit down.
That's
On a seat.
Yeah. Hurls himself to the floor. I'm down. I'm going to spend some time. I'm just going to drop a chair or a stool and have a look at him. Carry on with your preparations, guys. I'm just going to... Something wrong with our friend here.
Arnung, what are you doing? I'm assuming at this point Leaf is stepping out of the room if he needs to deal with things. What are you wanting to do? I mean, you're clearly, right now, you are literally wading through a good inch or so of meat, pulverized bone. This is beyond any abattoir. This is beyond any slaughter that you've seen. No doubt you've all locked the shock of what's just happened at the back of your mind, but Framling is clearly taking Renyir, he's sitting him down, there's something going on. Renyir's obviously feeling out of sorts. Leaf is putting himself into action to hide, the shock of what's going on. What's Arnung doing? What's up? What's happening?
Arnung, well, I'm with Framling and Leaf. Framling and Renyir.
Okay.
I want to make sure, everything's all right with him, the boy.
Okay. Renyir, are you looking worried or more drawn, more tired? What are they seeing when they're looking upon you?
Confusion and worry. And just start mumbling prayers to Renal for me. So.
You start putting a prayer to Renald?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Framling, what are we dealing with?
I don't know. There's something's attached itself to him. Nothing to be afraid of, Renyir. It's nothing that we can't sort out, I believe. But we need to get it. Well, let's get him out of this mess. Somewhere a bit less bloodied. We'll take him in the front room or somewhere away from here.
Okay.
Get him sat down.
Well, there is the front room, which is beyond the doorway itself, where a little bit of splash was only a little bit got through. Most of it hit Leaf in the front. Obviously, upstairs is clearly clean, except for the first set of steps.
We'll go upstairs because the front room's also the shop, isn't it? Isn't that the entrance to the shop?
It is, yes. That's actually where the glass cabinets are, the weapons and everything. That was potentially what Joseph thought was of value in the area.
Right. Yeah. So we'll keep away from there just in case someone comes through the door. Like, oh, hello. Hello. Welcome to the butcher shop. We'll just go upstairs.
Okay. You make your way upstairs. There is a front room as well as the two bedrooms, obviously the one that you've been using. The front room itself, where it had a single seat, a small oil burner and a table where Joseph would normally spend his evenings, you've obviously... that main room has now got cots. It's got mattresses on the floor for you guys. You've been using his bedroom. So you go into the main room, the cots are there, a little bit of mess from you guys having sort of slept, the odd spare bit of clothing on the side or and the like.
Right. I'll sit Renyir down somewhere that seems reasonable, like pitch him on a bed or on a chair, whatever. Somewhere to sit him down.
Okay. What was that?
I don't know.
You're doing it again?
Nothing. I was just sitting here.
Hopefully it's not a porn link.
Not on YouTube.
It's not YouTube. Right, Renyir, just breathe easy. Everything's going to be fine. I'm just going to have a little look-see. And I reach out and put my hand on his head.
Okay. You feel the warmth, Renyir, of his hand. No doubt the contact upon your neck anyway, but from there you can actually feel a warmth perfusing your body, starting to surround you. Literally you could feel a sweat starting to build up, beads of sweat upon your head. Meanwhile, Framling is quite calmly sitting there. No doubt, Framling, have you got your eyes closed as you're doing it? Are you really concentrating on this, or are you just allowing the power to? What I'm trying to get at is, are you allowing the power to find its way, a non-aggressive use of?
Yes, it's
a passive use of, as it
Yep.
were.
Oh,
yeah.
there goes my head.
And Arnung, obviously you're upstairs, or have you stayed in the kitchen? I missed that bit.
No, I'm following. I'm following Framling.
Okay. You're standing in the doorway, and because this is nighttime now, the darkness is there. You've obviously got a couple of candles. Framling's got his hand upon him, and you can see that one hand, from your point of view, you're sitting in front of him, Renyir. You can see he's got his hand to his chest, as well as his hand upon you. The candlelight around you is casting that flickering light, and you see a shadow rise suddenly up, as if the candles, no matter where they are casting against it. The shadows are against all four walls, which obviously that can't be. And you see this rising shadow, this tall shadow, a broad of shoulder, a heavy of shoulder and head and neck, rise up of all the walls until they meet in the ceiling, and then the darkness of the walls. The candles still light the centre of the room, but the darkness around the walls itself is complete.
I mean, as I see the darkness go up around the walls, I'll instinctively go to my sword, watching, keep my eyes firmly fixed on Framling.
I'm looking up at the shadows, looking above Renyir, and mutter, really? This is your great plan?
There is no sound. None of you hear anything. There is, though you are visually seeing something that is disconcerting, all the sounds are the sounds of the street outside, which is, well, it's echoing actually because you're on a side street. You can hear the sounds of the street outside, as you would expect. The house creaks slightly of floorboards resting, the candle, the bit of wax dripping. There is no there's no audio, there's no sounds at all that are out of place. Obviously, what you're seeing it completely is, but all the sounds are normal.
Thing, you know who I am. I know who you are. I now know who you are. I'll give you the chance to leave him of your own free will, or I will remove you and I will put you somewhere where you don't want to be. It's your choice. I don't often give choices, not to you, but the choice is yours.
You see the shadows recede again in reverse of of when they first rose up. You see the darkness of the ceiling that was complete. All the walls start to recede in until you see these four figures. They're identical, and then they start to recede down the wall until you watch them become Renyir's shadow.
So this is how it is going to be. You're not going to leave of your own volition.
There is still no response.
Arnung, you may have to restrain the boy. It's not the boy.
Got it.
But
sword away. I just grab him, pin him down.
And lean forward and stare into Renyir's eyes. Thing, I'm coming for you now. You had your chance. Don't say I didn't warn you. And I reach out and grab his head with both hands.
Grip very tightly.
Okay.
you'll just see me basically not doing anything because I'm staring at Renyir.
Renyir, you have you got your eyes closed? Are you staring?
I open my eyes from.
Yeah, so you're making eye contact with Framling.
Yeah.
As you do so, as you start to offensively, aggressively use your power against the entity, the spirit, this creature, the first indication of anything happening of a change is Arnung. You can feel the small boy in your arms. You can feel his muscles becoming tighter. You can feel him becoming taut. He's not straining against you, but you can where you're holding on to him, you can feel those muscles. Almost, you can feel like the adrenaline is becoming pumped into them. You instinctively hold them tighter. As you are aware, you know that you've held people down in your illustrious career and the things that you've done in life, and you get that moment. It's instinctive almost. That moment before he moves, before he reacts, you feel the tightening of those muscles, and you grab him. The strength is wiry. He's stronger than he looks, but it's nothing that you feel you can't contain. But you do feel him starting to vibrate. It's not just a matter of him pushing his arms out against you or struggling. That isn't happening. His entire body starts to vibrate. You see the corded muscles on his neck coming up. You see his mouth open. You're looking, and obviously from you can see him, and you can see him open his mouth, but no words come out. You watch his eyes lose their white. You watch the colour of his eyes vanish until they just become black. But it seems like an inky black, as if his eyes fill up. This blackness of his eyes become total. There's no iris, there's no white, there's no detail. But his mouth continues to move, as if he's speaking, but you can't hear anything. You can see that Arnung is holding on to him. Arnung, you're losing your grip not because of his strength, but because of he's vibrating so much that effectively, if it wasn't you pinning him down, you get the impression he would almost be off the ground with this vibration. But he's stiff. Every muscle is taut. He's stiff as a board. You're holding on to him, and he's literally vibrating you. And it isn't just like, it's not a subtle like bum bum bum. It's literally. You know, his whole body's just rocking away. Dust starts to fall around you, as you know where you are, where it's vibrating your huge form, your massive body. You're feeling this vibration going through you. It's hitting the ground where via you. Dust starts to come from the ceiling above. A spittoon to the side gets knocked over. The glass starts to rattle in the windows, but again, all you can see is his eyes are black and his mouth is it's forming words. You're unable to you can't see, you know, you can see he looks like he's talking, that he is talking, but he's making no sounds whatsoever. I mean, there's not even there is nothing. His mouth is moving. There is no audio coming out from him whatsoever, but yet his neck is wide. You can see the muscles are coming out as if he's under this massive strain. Framling, Framling continues. Yeah.
Yep.
Come on, Renyir. Stay with me, boy.
I'll do it for you. From Framling's voice, it sounds almost distant. You can see he's deeply concentrating into Renyir's eyes, trapping his gaze while trying to maintain his grip, his hand on the boy's head. You hear him say, Godric, help the boy. Help the boy! and there's a sudden silence. The room calms. The vibrating immediately ends. You see the eyes start to go back. You can see they're bloodshot, but no more than a hangover that you've seen Renyir have since you've come to the city.
Since we've been feeding his habit. I'll come out of my.
Did I hear that? Sorry.
Sorry?
Did I hear that?
Yeah, it was shouted out across the entire
shouting
room.
out. Okay. Has that thing? Is it gone, Framling? Were you all right? Is he safe?
I'm putting my hand in my head. Just give me a moment, Arnung.
I mean, Arnung looks at this point. He looks a bit worried for the boy. Is Renyir conscious? You said his eyes were open.
Yeah, he's blinking. He's breathing normally. He's a little bit dishevelled. You could see that you can see that there's some bruising, which you'd expect from that sort of physical activity. The skin's going to bruise. It's going to mark up.
I pick him up.
It's effortless as you lift him in your massive arms.
You said there was a bed there.
Many, yeah. There's 4 cots, including his.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll lie him down, make him comfortable.
Okay.
Speak to me, boy. Are you okay? Renyir.
I'm here.
Good. I need you. You can't go anywhere just yet.
No. I've got some debts to pay.
Yeah. A lot of them are mine.
Sure.
Turn to Framling.
I'm going to need to lie down after this. Maybe it's a cup of tea. How are you feeling?
Someone said tea.
You notice he's in a perfectly clean clothing. His hair's waxed back. His beard oiled, and you are still now covered in dry, stinking claret. Tea, anyone?
Let some souchong, please.
Stick the kettle on. What's been going on, then what's the plan?
How are you feeling, Renyir? And yourself?
Has your headache gone?
Why is it every time? Well, last couple of days, everything's just got worse and worse. Oh yeah, because there's demigods around.
Demigod.
What's going on? Bad case of IBS?
He ate some mushrooms and he's not feeling very well.
All right.
Our friend here has had somewhat of a brush with a thing that no one should have to have a brush with. Do you recall the thing that we talked to in the compound, the barracks?
All right.
Yeah. Well, that thing has had decided to start taking up residence inside our good little friend here for reasons I don't understand, other than probably to be nearer me covertly, to be nearer us. And I think it's mostly gone, but we'll have to be aware. Renyir, if you start feeling anywhere different than normal, anything like you've just had, you need to let us know, because I'm unsure as to whether it's gone or it's just hidden deeper. I think it's gone. But gone where?
Oh. Yeah, it feels like that.
And also, I'm going to have a bit of a lie down now, because I am feeling a touch tired. And what we've talked about earlier on, we need to get that in place quickly, because this use of my abilities is shining a big light on my location in this city to forces out there that can recognize it. So we need to move quickly. I think us three need to get a wash, get out of this butcher's clothing, and then I'm going to have a cup of tea and a sort of a quick power nap. I'll let you arrange and organise our strike on that temple and what we're going to do, and then I'll be back into it. But I just need a moment.
Before you go, what is a
Yes.
void gate?
What is it? What?
Void gate.
It's a doorway. It's a portal into a dark place that we don't wish to have opened. It's a portal into a place where that thing that was inside you lives,
No, you
exists.
said the temple is above one.
The temple is above one.
Yeah.
Well, that's
probably
useful. Do you know how to close one?
sort of, and by sort of, not really.
Would dropping a temple on top of it work?
No,
Damn it.
no. There would just be a void gate under the rubble of a temple. But let me think on it. I have to cast my memory back many centuries to remember. There's something I remember. Let me have a cup of tea and a quick nap. I need to talk to an old friend.
I mean, Leaf, you will recall that there is an area in the sewers that has been out of bounds. It's not. I mean, if you imagine that, you've got the Moors Park on the surface, then you've got the sewers, yeah, and the sewers do follow that main street, as you can see on the map. Yeah, bear in mind that the Moors Park is that large white grey area in the northwest. Yeah, the temple itself is the black dot in the northeast corner of that white area. To the south and to the north are two sewer entrances. In a straight line between them, there is an area that is out of bounds. Even the sewer jacks, when they pass by, will avoid it as much as they can. This area is they call it, the gate to the underway, if you remember. It's apparently the only known still open entrance that the dwarves used in ancient times, over 1,000 years ago at the creation of the city. And that's the underway. So you've got the underway is not a thieves' highway, it's not a reference to the sewers, it's a separate tunnels in the rock of the mountain itself. And the Moors Park happens to be above. That is the only place where you can't get to. The iron has literally been, rammed into this rock, and it's been solidly sort of sealed off. And this is the one place that no one goes. Oberlander, under direct orders from Goebbels, your guys never go there. You don't cut that. You don't go in there on pain of absolute instant hunt down and death and anyone that you know. It is one of the places that has always been out of bounds. No one goes there.
So we couldn't get there through the sewers, though?
Yeah, you can. You can, but I just don't want you to think that the Moor Park is directly above. It's not. It is beneath the sewers again. It's an entrance. It's an ancient entrance to the dwarf realm that's in the mountain, the underway as it's called. So the one thing is, obviously, Framling's gone off to his room, and you're sitting there going, right, okay, so we're concentrating on the Moors part, we're concentrating on the temple, we're talking about sewers into the temple. It starts to dawn on you on one point. Obviously, Framling is dedicating himself to, he must have, destroy. There is these people impersonating the worshippers of Morr need to die. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. You can see he's very passionate about that. And then, of course, Renyir's bringing up this void gate, and you're thinking, well, the sewers go straight up into the park. There's nothing in between. And then that's, wait a sec. Well, of course, there is that place that no one's allowed to go to.
Mm.
And collapsing the temple is never going to make any difference. That'll just land on the sewers. Yeah? So you're kind of realising that potentially, what you're talking about, potentially what your planning is around this all being one place. Is Framling just wanted to kill the priests and move on? Well, that's easily said. Fair enough. You can plan for that. But Renyir mentioning the Void Gate, both you and Arnung will both remember that the demon in the barracks was waxing on about this Void Gate and this spawn, this monster that patrolled it. That was different. And at the time, you clearly had an idea of what he was talking about. There's only one place, one entrance, one area that could possibly lead to anything that would be so horrifying to be given its name, the Void Gate. Whatever the hell that means to you, of course. You've never heard such a thing, but, if it's called the Pit of Hell, you're kind of going to go, wait, well, what could be the Pit of Hell? I don't think it's the pub, the Jolly Roger down the corner there. So you want to, I want you guys to sort of like get this information. You've had there's been a lot flowing around. Let's not mix all this together in one place, because you wouldn't, Don't have a think about that.
All right. So this entrance.
Yep.
Impassable by any estimation, or would it be possible to break in there?
Yeah, you could cut through the bars. It's iron bars. The sewer jacks are currently out of action. An unexpected
Absolutely.
benefit. So, Godric's not letting them down, and they'll have to recruit again. Get down there with some saws, cut it out. Or maybe Framling has the ability to pop those metal buggers out.
Where am I going to get saws that'll cut iron, though?
The Dowie Smith.
The dwarves do have a large guild hall in the southeast of the city. Very close to. Actually, is it?
I thought it was the merchants.
Yeah, no, I'll let you answer that, Renyir. Actually, Leaf should know. Maybe you give him one of them little baby hand slaps.
Drop kick. Oh, where's it gone? Possible to find the Dowie in the wind sector.
I'll just send some more boys down there and see if I can get there. See if they can do out with it. Otherwise, I'm going to be running around town all night. I don't fancy that.
Yeah, well, you'd think that the town itself might be in a bit of an uproar.
Yeah, there's been a bit of drama.
Yeah, a bit of chaos. Maybe sitting close to the group might be beneficial, but obviously you can split yourself up. But just bear this in mind that you're talking about moving from the west to the south, to the east side of the city. That's not going to be a fast trip, and if Framling suddenly wakes up from his power nap and says, right, we're off,
yeah,
you could be well out of position and weaken them. It's one of those things, unfortunately, you don't have a fast form of communication.
Your boys could take care of that.
I could send them off and see what they come up with.
I could use Oberlander's horses.
I could send them off and see what they come up with too. Now, yeah, we'll see what. I mean, there's no point in us fucking exposing ourselves until we're ready, you know. There's other people who can do the shit work. I'll step outside and kind of like speak to one of my lieutenants, see if I can get them off and causing a few distractions, but make that what target that grating.
Well, again, if anything, all you're going to do is attract attention. It should be empty. It should be unguarded. There's, it is normally the sewer jacks will pass by there every 6 hours. Clearly, since they're now being investigated as you were told by Goebbels, the sewer jacks are out of position. They're not going to be down there patrolling.
Is it out of plain view?
Yeah. That's.
All
right.
Then I'll just send the boys to
if you
work
look at
on
the
it
map
and see
below
if they can do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
All right, so look at the map below you. In the northwest, you've got that white area. That's the Moors Park. The main street to the top and the main street below, that's your 2 sewer areas. It joins in the centre of that white area, which is the park. The temple is just tiny. You've been in there. It's like 8 rooms. The rest of it is the graveyard, effectively. And where those two, you've been there a couple of times. You've never had a need to go down there, especially under direct orders, but, what's the point of going into the bells of a mountain? You're not into exploring. And they intersect in that location. It's tight, but it is possible. It's a dwarf tunnel.
Yeah, okay. I think we should handle it ourselves, to be honest. See if I can scrounge up some tools from the boys, and that should probably be the best way to do it. As long as we're tooled up, we should be good.
Okay. You get the boys, your guys. Get the tools. We are what we're in. I know Framling's after the thing. Anything else is a bonus.
All right, okay, yeah. I'll make a list of items that might be useful. Pry bars, saws, rope.
Does anybody have any particular... this might not be an option, but it would probably cross your mind. Some particular... Has anyone got any explosive? You do have the access to... chemicals, for want of a better word, they do have access to mining kit.
It's a bit overt, though, isn't it?
Well, I suppose if you're trying to blow up the side of a mountain, then it's going to go up through the floor. A small amount around the bars might burst it. It might just be too loud. It might be something that you're not interested in. Just throw it out there. It would be an option. They're not all going to be good.
Acid crossed my mind, but I thought availability might be an issue.
Well, you do have access to it. Well, not many people do.
The blacksmith should have it.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, you can heat it up.
Well,
I mean, they'll have small amounts for etching and that sort of thing, and that would be in the northern quarter, the ridge quarter. Not the average blacksmith would have it because he couldn't afford it. Leaf-producing acid might be an eye-opener, an eyebrow raiser to everybody else going, "Who are you, Leaf? Why have you produced a vat of acid?" But yes, you do have access to acid that could. It's not slow. I'm sorry, it won't be fast. And it will produce a hell of a lot of breathing issues if nearby. It's not the fastest route, but it is definitely an option for you, absolutely.
Don't have time, really, which is why I discounted it earlier.
No, the aptitude, the use of physics, weakening the bar. Hey, look, at the end of a pick, it's the strongest point, or its weakest point is going to be where it enters the rock face, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I was thinking the pry bars, Just
depends on how far they've dug them into the ground.
Well, if they've been pushed in, they're probably just mortared in or something or other.
It's dwarfs you're talking about.
No, well, you haven't got any evidence of that.
Ooh,
You've,
then the top bit will not be done then.
yeah, you've never inspected it. Was it dwarves or the humans? Who knows?
Well, I just said that from my vision.
They don't know anything about that because you haven't given them any.
I just said that.
Right, okay, yeah. So, hey, Arnung, thief, let's not underestimate that you've just heard Renyir go, well, it could be dwarves because I've said that because of my vision. What? People don't
told
drop
them.
vision into sentences often in your life. Well, they don't until Framling showed up.
Oh, yeah, he's a bad influence, Framling.
What did you see, Renyir? Vision?
No, the void gate was he tried to from what I gathered, he was trying to lead us through the underway, and it looked like a dwarven made, as it suggested.
I reckon a couple of strong horses at a weak point should be able to pull it out.
You're not
If
going to
it's-
get horses down there, mate.
Am I not?
No. We are talking about the sewers. Remember, they're like 5 foot at the best height. It's not a mine shaft.
I thought we were talking about a grate on the upper part in the
No.
park.
No,
It's
no,
actually a
it's-
grate in the sewers.
So there's a section of the sewers, so they run north and south of the park. There's a tunnel that leads to a grate that leads down into the bedrock of the mountain.
I see. Well, explosives then. That changes things.
Well, yes and no. Explosive could help, but also picks, rock, metal bars, dig them
Oh,
out,
yeah.
saw them.
Yeah, we're not just going to turn up with some explosives and hope for the best. We'll go fully equipped, I think.
There might even be a lock on it.
Well then. Locks are easy.
Mhm.
Don't forget your pick and gear then.
It's always on me. What are you on about?
As a new rule, I think no more secrets.
No more secrets.
No more secrets. This shit about visions and things jumping out us in the night, shadows. No. No more.
My real name isn't Leaf.
I'm stepping away from that one.
I sit down.
So you're now all, well no, Leaf's standing in the door with a cup of tea. You two, he's like, because Renyir never got up, so Renyir's sort of, paint me like one of your French girls, Jack, right, on his mattress. Arnung suddenly sits down, knees up here, looking through, right.
I could just envisage him. Leaf, not my real name, you know.
Hey. Hey, you wanted no more secrets. It's immaterial. I mean, I use a lot of names, you know. I use a lot of faces. I'm moving in a lot of circles.
About that. I was hoping to pick your brains, actually. Leaf, or whatever your name is. See, while I had my eye on Oberlander, I had my guys check out all his lieutenants on all his men, and I wanted to know what I was up against. And there's one man or one person that I've encountered that I know nothing about. And there's this faceless man. I was hoping you could answer that.
Well, what does he look like? I pull out a small mask from me robe. Does he look like this?
He just produces a metal mask. Renyir can't help but literally go pale. You know, Renyir's within sight. You can see Renyir looks more scared now than he did when shadows were coming out of him. At this metal mask.
Crawl underneath the bed.
You
I
what?
keep
You need a
crawling
fresh
away.
bed.
I keep crawling under the bed. And get away.
I thought you meant I've just shattered. All right. Okay.
What? Does it look like this?
I think I need to do shit.
Oh, this toilet paper's lovely and soft. What are you doing, Renyir? Oh, sorry.
Is this supposed to mean something? Are you trying to tell me something, Leaf?
Well, I mean, the person you're looking for is me.
You are the faceless man.
Yeah. Not a big deal, is it?
Shing! That went wrong.
I mean, it must have been fairly. I mean, it must feel fairly fortuitous to find out that this man that you've had this kind of like worry about is actually kind of like part of your own brotherhood. It's all a facade. I do the wet work. I kill the people. I'm good at it.
How long have you been in Middenheim?
Since I was around 20. I mean, Oberlander was my best friend. We came up together.
From?
Well, I came from nothing. I was an orphan. But I was trained by the Brotherhood and sent here to actually infiltrate and do my job. That's when I met the boys. We were run together as kind of like a small gang. Grabbed our own little part of the world. Moved up through the ranks. Did some naughty things. Took control. And eventually came to run the place.
That's a great story.
I'm surprised he didn't get anything on his mind. He must be sneakier than I thought.
That worries me. I'm just hoping, Leaf, that I can trust you.
Well, my priority is following Tal. My second priority is maintaining cover and doing the work of Tal. This is just my life. Much like you are in the north doing your thing, your priority remains the same. Your loyalty remains the same.
What do you know about my priorities and my loyalties?
I know your loyalty is to Tal, into
Is
the
it?
Brotherhood. Is it not?
I think
Carry the Renyir blade, as I do.
my first priority is to stay alive, survive. My second priority is the promise I made to Framling. And that's all I live by, the promises that I've made. And once those promises are fulfilled, I'm done.
Well, it's different to me then. I took an oath. I'm willing to die for that oath. I understand my place in the world. I understand that my importance in the world is minimal.
I can
I'll do my
respect
duty. That's what I'm here to do. I've been waiting for a very long time to have a purpose like this. This is a big deal for me. I understand it's going to be dangerous and quite possibly may die. But that's what it is. There's bigger things in the world than me. I've had me comfort. I've had me fun. I've done some shitty things. I've done some amazing things. And at some point, it ends. It's not important. Not to me. Life is cheap. But there's bigger things to worry about. Avoid gates. And shitheads who fucking follow shitheads. Kill them all.
I fear this war's going to be here long before we've gone.
Oh, yeah. This will rage forever. But we do our part. Refuse to bow.
Good. I now know where you stand.
Behind you, generally. It depends on who's in front of us, obviously.
Do you also understand who runs the city?
Well, that depends. Have you met Goebbels yet? Because he's a proper cunt. You need to get rid of him if you want to run this city. I have no interest in running things. If I wanted to run things, I would have run things. But if you want power, if you seek power and crave it, I don't care. You could just slot in there, and I'll just keep on doing what I do.
I will meet with Goebbels.
Have you got any more spies? Because you need to get people on him, eh? We need to take him out. If he's the reason no one's ever gone near the Moors Park. He told us to keep this entire place clear. That's why I have no information for you, because we're forbidden to investigate that area. Oberlander kept me clear of it. Oberlander kept everybody clear of it, and Oberlander kept it clear for him. So he's the man who is behind any kind of suppression of knowledge here. And he's been here for a while as well.
What does Goebbels have over Oberlander? Why do you fear him? Or did?
He came into the city. We were doing our thing, running wild, doing whatever we wanted, and one day he crushed one. He knew everything about everything, very, very quickly. And he made a deal. We do what we want. We run our sections of the city. But this area is off limits, and everything goes through him.
Good. So by entering this area, we know what we're up against. Hopefully find out more about what Goebbels is up to. And there is my leverage.
Absolutely. We could do one more men if you've got any kicking around, though.
I have men.
So have I, but the caliber of the men I've got is they'll give you a kicking in the street. They're not warriors.
Well, could you not use Ludwig's people?
Ludwig's people are my people. I've got over 100 men in the city.
Excellent. Oh, and by the way, we have to kill that fucker, yeah? From the other day. East Side boy. Give him a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have to deal with him. And his boys. He's out. I guess you're going to choose new lieutenants and stuff. I'm not going to stand in your way.
Everyone is accounted for, my friend. They're all gone. They're all dead. Our men are in control.
Oh, I quite liked some of them.
I like Ludwig.
Kind of need to know information.
Yeah, no more secrets, eh?
None.
Nobody knows Oberlander's dead.
Well, I do. I've known him since I was 17. But he shouldn't have threatened your family, like.
It matters not.
That was stupid. Fucking
I just
loudmouth.
needed to hear. I just needed to know certain things, and then he was dead. He was good as dead. No one stands in my way. If I want something, I take it. That's how I get things done.
Yeah, I do that too.
Sorry.
It is what it is, you know. Someone gets in your way, kill them.
Yeah.
No regrets. Life is cheap.
Although I have many men in the city, I don't think I have not once included them in this part of my business. This is strictly Brotherhood business.
Yeah, but it would be nice to have kind of like... It doesn't necessarily have to be adjacent to what we're doing, but it would be nice to have something that would kind of like distract the... Essentially, what we need to do is let Framling do his thing uninterrupted and unmolested, yeah? If we can do that, I mean, obviously, kind of the cultists are going to go straight out and swarm. As soon as they know what we're doing, where we are, and they will, nothing of that goes smoothly. Now, I've sent my boys out. They're gonna they're gonna cause a little bit of shit, but they're scared. You know, they're unarmored. They're not particularly well trained. They're thieves. You know. That's all they do. Intimidate and thieve. Beat people up occasionally, but they're nothing compared to these trained people, you know?
Just hold that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, you're back. So I don't know how much you missed there, Framling. Leaf was just simply saying that he has a lot of...
Go on. Yeah, go on.
He was just simply saying that he's got a lot of men there in the place, but they're not the trained sort of, they're not the fighters, they're not the killers there. You were saying basically they were info gatherers, really, weren't you?
Yeah, they hang around, they do jobs, they keep tabs, but they're not equipped to deal with kind of like armored soldiers and trained weapons handlers, you know.
Yeah, they're criminal. They're basically the criminal underbelly. And
they're not just that though; they're integral to business as well. You know?
Right? Yeah. Okay. So it is a more of a complete sort of like whispering network, not armed assault troops.
Yeah, exactly. If you want shock troops, I think kind of like Arnung's people are probably more equipped to either deal with that or get what we need.
Mm.
I mean, my role is mainly kind of like taking out individuals who might be causing a problem for business. It's not war. It's assassination.
I'm up to speed. Oh, sorry, because I'm not in the room, so I'll let you get back into it. Sorry.
Well, you are in the room, actually. Because I
Am I?
heard you go in. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm just standing there.
listening.
Just blowing on your neck.
eavesdropping.
Hello.
Yeah.
You look nice.
Renyir, Arnung, you have no idea what's going on there because I don't know if that conversation just happened outright, but they can't see anybody. You know, the Leaf, you're standing at the doorway, leaning against the door with a cup of tea. Remember, they're in the room, sitting on opposite mattresses.
Yeah, but I'm standing in the doorway and I've got me back to the corridor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been aware that Framling's been there for quite some time, but I'm having a conversation with Arnung, and he's not interjecting, so it's not my business to press. What I can do, Arnung, if you want to make a list, I can send some runners. I can put them on horses. I can get information to them relatively quickly if that's what you want to do. I don't know if you've got a method of delivering information to them, but if you share that information with me, I'll make sure that your plans come to fruition. You know.
Do we know how many knights are in there? I know of Albrecht and 4 other soldiers that we know of.
When my boys went and caused a bit of trouble, only 2. So there could be loads. I honestly don't know. I mean, I can't see it being that many, though. You know what I mean? It's situations like this. There's usually kind of like small amount of conspirators. If there was a lot of them, it would be difficult. If there's 20 kind of like monks in there doing that thing, they're going to notice infiltration. So I'm going to say it's relatively small numbers, but extremely well equipped. Like we got chased. If they weren't well equipped, we wouldn't have run, would have wrecked them.
You all remember that you've seen 4 guys while you were in the temple, and 4 gave chase when you left the Goose, as well as Albrecht Zimmerman, the commander. Renyir, it never dawned on me to do this in Outer Game, but Renyir can obviously tell you at this point that the 4 he identified that give chase from the Goose were the 4 that you saw in the temple. Again, you know, maybe they're just the 4 shock troops that Albrecht sends out. But so far, you've only seen 4, and it's the same 4.
And the 2 I hit with the rocks, same.
Yes.
I mean, could we not just go to the temple and blag our way in? I mean, would they really react to Framling in that way? I don't know.
I think so. I think we've already been made.
Maybe we'll just go and kill Zimmerman to start with, then.
So we've got 2 options. Option 1, kick down the front door, head towards Zimmerman, kill him, and head to this gate and try and close it and let Framling do his thing.
It would be preferable if we can kill them before we do the gate thing. Or do we just go for the gate and hope they don't notice her? That's my biggest worry. I mean, I don't think they're kind of like going to be hanging around, dancing around whatever the gate is, but maybe they are.
I think the gate is the biggest concern right now. We close that, deal with whatever's down there, and then we'll deal with Albrecht and his merry men.
There'll only be one entrance, won't there, from the temple to the the underground.
The temple to the sewers has one entrance, yes. Actually, saying that, no. It's got one entrance to the underway. Remember, the underway is not the underground. It is not the sewers.
Yeah.
The underway is the dwarf realm. There is a northern and a southern. It's one of the few locations that has a north and south sewer entrance, both of which unofficially connect in the centre, which is where the void gate is.
Yeah. But their route is going to be from the temple, the northern. So we could trap the shit out of that if we can get in there fast enough. You know what I mean? Just create a choke point.
Sounds like a good plan. We lead them down there. Bring the fight to us.
Well, if we go through the southern gate into the entrance, through the underway to the void gate, while Framling's doing his thing, we could be either collapsing the northern tunnel, trapping the northern tunnel, dousing the area so it literally is impassable by flame, you know, that kind of thing. We need something that can pierce armor, though. You're the soldier. Any thoughts?
We do this the old-fashioned way. I'm going to take them out before they get close. I'm in no fit state to fight them one-on-one. Yes, if they get close, I'll have to bring the fight. I'm hoping that won't be the case.
What about armor?
Unless they have armor in their face, their eyes.
What about putting you in armor?
I have no problem with that. I used
Because
to wear armor long ago.
I've never really had much use for it, but I would probably scare some armor up for you. I don't know if it's much use to Renyir, but
no, just slow me down.
Yeah.
We stick to what we do best. Stick to your strengths.
In which case, I need to make some short preparations, a few trips. I need to pop down to the brewery.
Okay.
I will take this time to get rid of this shit and clean myself up.
Right, I'll leave. I'll jump on my horse, head for the brewery. To do some chemistry.
Okay.
So I'll take this time to get cleaned up.
No doubt Renyir is
Yeah.
as well.
Getting cleaned up. Get the skin off my hair. And
I'll come through from the room, and while Arnung's cleaning himself up, I'll just go to have a quick chat with him, as it were.
Yep.
So my old friend, you've been busy, very busy.
Mm-hmm.
The Arnung of old, the Arnung I remember.
And then the bath.
Yeah, you work out.
no bubbles yet.
Yeah. So you're back.
It's good to be back.
Well, for my part, I'm glad to see you back. for my part, your extra interests don't concern me. That's your player. That's your life. A life that you've chosen, and dare I say, you deserve, but in a good way. I have no interest in involvement in that. In fact, it's probably more of a help to me than a hindrance. As long as we realise that the goal is still on my level. But what you get up to in your spare time, I care not.
You should know, Framling. Talk a lot about promises, and I made a promise to you too, long ago. I will fulfill it.
That's good. Well, I'll leave you to your soaping.
Before you leave, Framling,
Yes, my old friend.
this thing around my neck. I haven't told you about this.
Yep.
This thing is what kept me going all this time. It saved me from the plague. I don't understand what it does, why it does it, or why it was given. But I know I'm here because of it. I stand here because of this.
Well, it is a gift. It is a gift from, I think, an old friend of mine that I haven't seen in many, many, many years. And if this person has chosen to give you that gift, then it's well given and well received. Hold on to it. As you've mentioned, it may be the reason why you're still alive. There are many powers in this world. There are many powers that are greater than mine. And that gift may be from a power that is way more than mine. And so take it in the spirit it's meant. This person may have gifted you this because he sees a higher purpose for you. Certainly not one I'm going to interfere in.
It concerns me a little that for so many years, 40 odd years, it looked like new, golden, but now it looks tarnished. Why?
Maybe that its purpose is coming to an end. I'm not sure. I could meditate on it if we have time. Maybe as well, you're getting soaped up. I will think about it because I'm feeling that you need to sort yourself out. I will think on it. The fact that it's tarnishing, I have ideas, but know that I think I know who gave you that gift. And that person gives few gifts and only to chosen. In fact, I could cast my mind back to a very dear old friend who was given a gift from this person, and know that he only seeks out the truer of characters, and that in itself is a compliment.
It was Reynald, wasn't it?
Probably. Possibly.
It felt like so.
Has his hallmarks, his touch. I believe he's taken an interest in you, in all of us, but particularly an interest in you, and that comes with its own burdens, which I'm sure you've experienced over your life. But not a bad thing to have a God on your side, at least looking out for you. Anyways, I will. Let me think about this, and you can sort yourself out. And I'll probably need a wash as well at some point because I think I'm a bit covered in gore. And I'll
Yes.
leave you be.
I'll continue to clean myself.
Yeah, Renyir very quietly, completely unnoticed during a conversation, awkwardly beside you in his own barrel, like. You're like, hey, you even wash silently in the shadows. You
It's only when you
freak!
drop the soap.
Yeah. Huh?
How long have you been there? Say Traxxas eating the best eating those crisps. How long have you been here?
If I wash
To
really
run the
slowly, I am invisible. Crap. Well, basically, in time, by the time that Liv returns, all three of you have washed and scrubbed. You've been downstairs to the front of the shop, got yourself a variety of clothing that fits and is clean from the pawn shop, the pawnbroker. His stock, as I would expect, it is of higher quality than you have been wearing since, well, at least since Arnung lost his three-piece fitted suit at the because it was covered in crap, and he left it because he ran away from a demon. Framling, of course, has been wearing the same bear hide for over 1,000 years, so it's an improvement no matter what he looks at.
That's just one in that bear hide. It was just getting comfy.
And Renyir basically he wasn't exactly high up there on the old dress sense. So you're actually, when you raid the front of this shop, this is where he's got his stock. I mean, there is boxes, there's piles in the shop itself, but you go. Admittedly, it's off. It's off the hanger. But there's some quality.
Someone with a big feather.
Yeah, exactly. You find that something with sort of puffs and crumples and ruffles and that sort of thing. You find three of you are quite well dressed.
Dapper.
So I've got,
Yeah.
So
we're fully
I've got to go to
pimped
the
out.
kids section, yeah.
So ready to stand there with a bonnet, some knee-length trousers and white socks.
You're dressed as a drummer boy. How nice. How cute.
Yeah. Leaf goes, why? Leaf looks over and goes, why are you getting clothes off that doll? He's in the toy section. Arnung, of course, is still dressed down. He has had only the best Tillian weave for the last 20 years. So no matter what, it's not as if you're in the Freeburg, which you've burnt down. It is getting on. It is getting on to it's just short of midnight. You can hear the clock tower around the Ulrichsburg ring out the 10 bells as Leaf comes back in, wheeled over his shoulder, carrying a large bag, emptying the contents. The best he could do under the circumstances. Arnung, being the large man, you work your way through some of the stuff that he's brought, sizing it up. You find a chest plate, though not a back plate. You find padding with which you can fit, because they normally come with the stitching, so you can expand upon it from other suits. And you find some chainmail that will protect your extremities, some greaves, and pauldrons. So you've got a half plate you managed to get together based on your share bulk. You're very hard to shop for. You're a beast, but you're looking at about half plate, so shins, wrist area up to your elbows, protection to your chest. You've got some chainmail that protects most of your torso. And being half plate, it's going to be easier for you to spend most of your time in the sewers now in your fresh clothing and armour for the next 30 to 40 minutes, bent over and dragging yourself through the effluent that you've got so used to.
Just some sort of straw for when he does a breaststroke through the filth.
Yeah, you just going to stop bathing. You say, what's the point? Right, I'm fresh. To the sewers. Ah! What did I scrub the blood off for?
Also, all the sewer jacks, when they eventually come back, or the new sewer jacks, are going to go, well, these tunnels are quite clean. It's like someone's put a pipe cleaner through here and just dragged it all the way through. Look, everything's been like cleaned, like they've just
Yeah.
put a back reamer in there and reamed it. Hello, King of the Underworld, Mr.
Arnung
Stinky.
cleaning.
Oh.
So obviously, he's going through it. He's, you guys help him sort of, pull in the straps, cinch it in. He's like, well, it looks like somebody shrank this plate mail, this chest piece. Yeah, but you haven't actually. You realise you haven't agreed to a plan. You haven't agreed to a target, a way forward, as you do your final preparations.
All
Yes,
right.
well, obviously I was in the room, not in the room, having been out of it. Not out of it, I'm not like, but so what have we decided, my friends? What is the plan? What are the options?
I think we'll believe the priority is the gate.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get you to that gate. Then we're going to deal with whatever comes from the northern and southern tunnels, mostly expecting resistance from the north. So we're going to try and create a kind of like a fairly hellish choke point in that northern tunnel, to try and keep anything that comes our way away from you.
What about the more armoured men? What's the plan for them?
Fire and explosives, Arnung, and arrows.
You're planning to choke neck them up in a sewer?
We'll go down to the sewer. That's where this void gate is.
But no, wait a minute. I'm just trying to understand your plan for the night. Well, let's call them knights. For the armoured guys, is to hurl fire at them in a sewer. Is that right?
Yes.
So it's going to be stuff that can burn, oil, naphtha, something that'll burn which won't go out in water. But it's a sewer. It'll be full of gas.
Yeah, we're going to have to worry about that. But at the end of the day, sparks are created by weapons clashing,
I don't doubt it, and that could be in a pocket of gas, but that's somewhat different than setting fire to the sewer. I'm presuming that there's a flow in the sewer. It will move from a high point to a low point, and if we're using oily flames, something that isn't going to be put out, then the high point to low point will
That's a fair point. Yeah,
slick of fire heading down to pockets of gas should they be around. I'm just wondering whether this is actually workable or whether we're just going to blow ourselves up.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yes, it's a sewer, but is it going to be full?
Full of gas or full of shit?
Is it going to be full of water?
Well, maybe it hasn't rained in a while, to be fair. But I don't know. I don't spend my life down there. I don't know how much of a base flow there is.
Yeah, okay. Well, fair enough. But it's dwarven made.
Yeah, the sewer will probably survive. The sewer will be fine.
No. The difference we've noticed when we go through the dwarven made parts of the sewers, you don't get the pockets, do you?
So we're hoping it's vented somehow.
They're always vented. I mean, like we've been in the sewers bloody so much. I think I'm an expert now. I'm certainly expert in turds, but I think the ventilation in the dwarven section is suitable.
Okay,
I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing that we're not going to have heavy flow. But I think we'll just have to take it as we find it, to be honest. I mean, we don't have much information and we need to move quickly because you want to move quickly.
Yeah, I'm just bear in mind our main fighter is going to be pretty nullified in a dwarven sewer.
Which is why we're covering in metal, I mean.
Yes, but he can barely stand up in one of those things. In fact, he can't. He's going to be in a crouched position.
Yeah, but there's a convergence point where this where I presumably were going. I mean, I haven't been there. I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Right.
So I mean, my initial plan for this particular northern tunnel was explosives.
Yeah, but that's going to collapse the
Northern tunnel.
Yeah.
We're coming up through the southern tunnel.
What's the plan for the Armored Knights? Are we going to try and distract them, or we just hope that?
No, I think we're just going to try and kill them.
We're not going to try and distract them at all. We're just going to hope we can get in and get out before they notice. And if they do notice, we fight them.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about kind of like how much pressure we are under time-wise, aren't we? Now, if we had weeks to plan this, it would be an entirely different thing, and we could pick them off easily and poison the food and all sorts of normal things I would normally do. This is out of my experience, really. I don't normally do assaults. My guess is we're sneaking through the south section. We'll go through the grating. We get to the void gate. We head up north. You start doing your thing, and we run interference for you. I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know how long it's going to take. I mean, if you just turn up and go, all right, okay, it's a void gate, click your fingers and we're off, then we don't have to do anything.
Sadly, I don't think it's going to be as easy as that.
So how long are we talking? I mean, kind of like any kind of information you can give on this point about it would be useful. Are we holding the line for 4 hours, or we're doing it for 20 minutes?
I don't know is a simple answer. It depends on the nature of the gate. It depends on the nature of how it's been constructed and how it's being kept open. It could be quick, or it could be not quick.
Which is why I plan on planting explosives in the northern tower. I mean, it's all infiltration at this point. I'm hoping that we can get to the void gate and not have any nasty surprises. If it goes smooth, if we get in through the southern gate, we get to this void gate, and I head up north, I will rig that northern tunnel to basically explode when I want it to. Should they get through, the flammable material will be then ignited to soften them up. I mean, what we've got to bear in mind is that they are big men that are on plate, that are in a kind of like a difficult fighting situation if it's a narrow and small area.
Good point. Yeah, they'll be also restricted.
And I mean, we can still take kind of like ranged weapons, you know.
Okay, well,
and it's going to be difficult to advance in such a situation where kind of like you're crawling over rubble, fighting through fire, dodging arrows to finally get you. It's literally about slowing them down at this point and hopefully killing them.
Wouldn't hammers be useful?
I've got hammers in my bag. I've got pickaxe in my bag. I've got pry bars. I've got explosives. I've got flammables.
For those in armor, though, if you hit the joints,
they'll probably get pissed off. I mean, it's armor, isn't it? It's...
As he says that, you see him standing with two mismatching, but they're lightweight warhammers, spikes on one end, large lump on the other, sort of swing them around, getting to see if they're fairly balanced. You can see why he's asking by the way that he's picked them up and went,
Take them. Definitely. Whatever you think will work, take. We're in a store full of exotic weaponry, armor. I mean, obviously, don't nick all of the stock. I mean, we're not going to be throwing
not me good stuff.
Not throwing jewels at them and gold bars. But I mean, certainly, if there's weaponry you can use, I'll cover that. And that goes for everybody. Tool up.
Take the largest warhammer that I can find.
I think you'd be better off with a spear, a pike.
A pike. I understand what you're saying in terms of keep people at a distance, but I don't think we're going to get a pike down a sewer. The first bend you come to, it'll turn from being a pike into a broken pike.
A short one, then. So a pointy
spear.
stick.
Javelin.
Something to be, you know, you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about kind of like, you know, a lance. I'm talking about a pike.
No, pikes stop charging horses. You don't.
Yeah.
It's a pole arm. They are
Well,
minimum of
whatever,
like 7,
I
8 foot
don't
tall,
understand.
and you plant them in the ground.
Yeah.
No, just,
Well, the big ones are like
A
12
pike-
foot long. It's like,
yeah, the
pointy
12 foot long half glaive. Yeah.
it's like, can't get it round the corner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got a stick. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Take
Yes,
a
pointy
short
sticks.
spear
Yeah.
or something that you can keep people at a distance.
Yeah.
Rather than something you need to swing.
Yeah. Oh, and I've got some poison too. We'll just dip all that shit in there.
Okay, so we've
Oh,
got
so he dies.
hammers, we've got spear. We'll take a small like bow, a long bow, and plenty of arrows.
A small bow and a long bow.
For
That's what you
each.
said.
I
A 6
I
foot
would say
long
a
bow.
composite. No, I would say a composite bow in that kind of situation. Some sort of horseback bow, you know.
I was going to say, I'm just trying to work out how you're going to get a 6 foot bow into a 5 foot tunnel.
Well, I wouldn't, would I?
It's just like, suppose not working.
Well, I mean, it depends. You could turn it sideways.
It's still 6 foot, isn't it? Oh, it depends how wide these tunnels are, I suppose. Yeah.
But no, I was thinking kind of like a
Horse bow.
composite
Yeah.
horse bow.
Right. So we have a plan.
Ish. It's rushed. I don't like it. I'd
So
much
we're
rather
going
I had a
for-
couple of weeks to chill and eliminated all of the dangerous actors in the
We don't have-
temple before we did anything, but we don't. So we're going now.
You don't have more than a couple of
That's
days.
your plan. We're playing it by ear tonight.
The only other problem, Framling, is to knock on the door and take them head on.
Head on or bluff your way, you're trying to think, to get in.
Once we're in, we're going to have to start killing.
But using Leaf's idea of flammables and flammables cast by Leaf's men, your men, lot of flammables on a lot of individuals in the open.
It definitely works. If you douse an armored man in this stuff and you set it, they really, really don't like it. It's they make some noises. You know what I mean? They can't see.
Sneak in, hope not to get caught, fight in very tight circumstances,
But then again, I mean,
or
we
bring them out and get them in the open.
I
If
kind
we
of
can
like
bring them out.
I kind of like the sneaky plan rather than the.
I
you
like
know.
the idea of getting down there because it also, I don't want, if they've got defences around the gate, I don't want them to be alerted.
Hmm.
And once the gate's gone, we can pick these off. Well, they become nothing to a certain extent, but we can pick them off. Their purpose has then been reduced massively, and then your networks, yours on and yours Leaf, can pick these off one by one. They can find a poisoned tankard in their favourite ale. They can find a knife between their ribs. Renyir. They can go bit by bit rather than a frontal assault.
How fast does this poison act, Leaf?
Oh, it's quick as hell. This is very concentrate. It has like a narcotic effect as well. It causes a lot of pain. It's very distracting.
Prep some arrows in that case.
What about blinding powder?
Use it. Everything's valid at this point. If you can think of it, bring it. If you can carry it.
If only we had a
We're totally
talent.
going to be going in there fully tooled
Full-
up, kitted like 4 Rambos, and it's going to be like some kid's birthday party, isn't it?
I'm thinking if
I'm probably not the best temple for that. The god
No
of the
one's supposed to
dead. That's where I want. That's a dark kid.
no one's supposed to be down here. Ah! Oh.
Some budget, this is what my budget allows.
Yes. Right. Well, it's a plan. As crazy and half-assed as it is, it's a plan. If I would give me eye teeth for a Talon of Victoria at this stage, but we don't have one of those. So,
What's a Victoria?
never mind. Just a memory from days of yore.
Can they be got?
No, they don't exist anymore.
Oh.
But if they did,
Is that not one on that shelf over there?
no.
Try.
Just in case. Can I buy one? Where can I buy one from? Do you know anyone? Describe it to me.
Whatever it is, I want 4.
Yeah. But they come in pink. What? No. Victoria don't. They don't come in pink. Well, no time like the present.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So you're breaching which?
Southern.
You're going into the southern expanse, so it's obviously the closest one to you.
Yeah.
You're going right. So basically, bear in mind that how openly are you wanting to do this? Are you wanting to? Because you can definitely cut down on your time in the sewers by getting to one of the many manhole covers in the main street and just dropping down and giving no cares, no Ulrich's feathers whatsoever for the people of the street going, did you just see them those 3 men and that child jump into that sewer?
It's dark.
You know that street, those main thoroughfares, though a little bit less busy, are not that much, particularly the ones leading up to the gates. There's a lot of activity on these streets. You will be noticed, but do you care at this point? Just drop down when the patrol's on there. It would be stupid to do it in front of a patrol.
Yeah,
but
of course it would.
you are going into the northern quarter. That area does have a heavy presence. A northern block, specifically, because that's the one that you burnt down. But the southern entrance... Actually, no. Looking at the map, I'm completely confused myself. That's the area that burnt down.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's definitely not going to be busy. They'll have cordoned it off. Safety, rebuilding, there's going to be joiners in there. You could find out if there's a lot of activity of the guards, but since a good section of that block burned to the ground within, the last 12 hours, are they going to be looking towards the southern part of the Moors Park? You might be able to slip down. Maybe one of your distractions, Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
Get people to go to the central area, start throwing stones, into the Ulrichsburg. That'll definitely have guys looking in that direction as you then...
Bloody kids!
Pesky! Grr!
Yeah, we'll do that then. That sounds plausible.
Well, making your way above ground at this point, at night, Arnung can't hide himself. He's just too big. But you do the best you can. You look slightly bigger, in fact, with a chest plate on, no doubt. So a bit of a hulking lad walking along with the 3 of you. But so you can't blend in. You do get patrols looking at you. Framling, you've got your hood up, no doubt, hiding your tattoos, but otherwise you're no longer dressed as a tribesman. Arnung does get a few stares, but nobody intercepts you. Nobody comes along and interacts with it as you work your way up through the southern road to the centre of town, uncomfortably close to the junction area, the area where the witch burning was. You take a side street. It would be suicidal, no doubt, at that.
Hello?
Can't hear you.
Yeah, you've gone.
Have I gone?
Suicidal lad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for a minute.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Back.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you...
You said, it'll be suicidal. And we're like, What?
Not going down that street.
Run away!
Yeah. Yeah, so you are, the ways I'm saying is you obviously the clear road would lead you straight up to the witch burning centre, where you burnt that block down. So you'd want to take a left. Yeah, the witch burning centre.
Welcome to the witch burning centre. Ooh, very nice.
Yeah.
Can you just hover your mouse on that map so I know roughly where we are? Because I'm trying to.
So you've gone from this area now. I know from the viewer's point of view they can't see that. So what we're looking at is the southern entrance. If you follow the main road up from the southern entrance, you will see your first yellow area in that main road. Slightly to the left of there are some buildings. This is where the group have been hiding out. You head onto the main road, you head all the way up. Halfway between the second yellow dot, the second yellow line across the main road, and that actual dot further up, you'll cut left into one of these side alleyways. You will bypass this area here, coming out around this location and heading up the northwestern road to the middle or the southern part of that large grey area, which is the Moors Park. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At that point, Leafs people step into play, throw some stones off the local guardsmen. Now, from here, you can't see the divination. What the fuck? Why? What's wrong with you?
Get a hobby.
Yeah.
It is throwing stones.
Throwing scones and peelers.
Yeah. Now, not all of a sudden done, you see the devastation wrought. As Renyir did mention to you a few hours prior, you have lost that entire block. As you look upon the map, the block is this slight area. There's a dot. You've literally lost this. Okay, you've lost this area here. That is burned to the ground. This is where the several families perished. 30 plus innocents died. That area now is a black, smouldering wreck.
I turn to Arnung and say, we should develop this area.
It's got potential. I like this house. Be shame if it's burnt down. What?
It'd be a cracking place for a new hostelry and inn. Maybe a few restaurants, bistros. We could really lift this place up, you know?
The land will be selling cheap then.
You, as you do that, there's an imperceptible sort of nod from Leaf, just randomly at nobody in particular, and some pesky kids appear on rooftops opposite, running past. There's lots of swearing, insults, stones thrown, catapult firing. The guards, somewhat put out, chase the kids off, allowing you to quickly grab a hold of the heavy cast iron sewer, and you look down into this drop. It is going to be quick, no doubt. You can see the rungs cut into the side. You can go down, but for the speed of it, it's going to be a bit of splashback as you drop down. You are looking at a good sort of it's a 6 foot dangle and drop, and then a 5 foot gap. So if you imagine that you've got the flue, the entrance, the tunnel down, the vertical shaft, that's about 6 foot of stone and ladder down there, and then your feet are going to dangle if you were to drop, but you can climb all the way down. In total, you're looking at from surface of the street to feet on something solid, estimate around about 11 foot.
Right, so no dropping down that hole.
I'm climbing down.
Yeah, well, if you hang, you could go for it.
Let Arnung
My
go
head's gonna
first.
go underneath.
No, because if he slips, you don't want that armoured weight landing on you, do you?
No. I had a cousin once who did that in full plate mail once. Broke both of his legs. Didn't end well.
Broke both his legs and then drowned in shit. Nice.
I knew
As
a
you
guy
climb
that
up.
happened to.
As
I
you
heard
start,
the story.
you quickly climb down. Arnung, you're the only one that's going to have the strength to one arm drag that back along. And you're the last one down. You find yourselves in the southern sewers of the south of the Moors Park. Quickly, your eyes, obviously, Framling, adjust to the darkness, and you can see this area which leads underneath. You know, as you ran up to that street, bear in mind, you're seeing the metal cast iron spiked fences that surround the Moors Park itself. You can see the tunnel heading north underneath the actual graveyards. The guys behind you have to suffer in darkness until presumably you use the same trick you did last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly the same one.
For the rest of you, you're standing in the darkness. It is dark. Pitch black. Can't see your hand in front of your face, and you can feel the hairs on the back of your neck sort of rise up. You could feel the power from Framling, and then these small lights, delicate lights. They're not bright. They're not piercing. Start to float, giving a glow around you, moving off ahead of you in a good distance in either direction, giving you a good line of sight. Quite quickly you establish the direction you need to head, and you start heading up through the oldest part of the city that you are aware of. These tunnels were developed and built as the city developed above it. You're heading into an area that is over 1,000 years old. The point where the dwarfs broke the surface of the Fauschlag, of the mountain top, onto the plateau, where, as you know, the ancient times say that Ulrich himself, using the flat of his hand to cast the top of the mountain off, so that his followers could build their city. You can feel the air. You can feel it passing by as you work your way along through this supported area. It is old, it is supported. You can see that there are timber beams, dwarf in design, big metal bolts thrust into them, keeping the roof above you. But there's also this sense of foreboding, a sense of disquiet, a heaviness in the air, and you see at an angle before you a curved top, straight walled entranceway. Initially this would have been crude. It would have been as they broke their way from inside the mountain up onto the surface. The city would be layered and built over time above. But it had to be structured, it had to be reinforced. And what you see is old, ancient artwork. You see the distinctive markings of the Khazali language of the Dawi race. Heavy keystone stonework is at the beginning, at the top, and you can see it carved in around the sides. The old dwarven language. These bars are decidedly younger than the dwarf language, than the stones that you're looking at, even to those that are not initiated into the secret skills of the metalsmith, of the craftsman, can see that these are human metal bars. You look down at them, you can see that they're rusted, they're tarnished. The city, after all, is going through a dry spot, but it normally is at the highest point of this region. It does have its fair share of rainfall, and you can see water has cascaded down here. The stones that disappear into the darkness behind this grill have that sort of smooth shining of a millennia of passing water.
Are we talking vertical bars or
at an angle? You can see the tunnel rises down. It's not steep enough that you're concerned, but you'd be stepping into and down.
Okay.
And it's not passable. Obviously, they're floor to ceiling at an angle.
Correct.
All right.
And it's big enough. You can see clearly this is big enough for Arnung to stand tall. It's not.
Oh, right.
It's a good sort of. You'd estimate around this entranceway, this tunnel that goes down. It is big. I'm sorry if I give you the impression it's small. It is big. This is not Dawi in dimensions. This is a tunnel that was used to bring humans up and supplies up. This has been supported and rebuilt and expanded upon a long time ago. You'd estimate width to be a good 10 foot wide, height to be wide enough for a oxen-drawn wagon. This is a major thoroughfare.
It's not a poo pipe, basically.
Correct. It is by far the biggest tunnel you've seen in all the times that you've been down here.
And the metal bars are younger, obviously.
Absolutely.
But they look as though they've been there for a while, as in they've not been moved in a while.
Correct.
How thick are these bars? Are they, like, that sort of size?
No, you're talking, an average person wouldn't be able to get their hand around it. Arnung can get a hand around it. Yeah, these are big, like that. Say a good, what's that?
Wrist thick.
Oh, bigger. I would say a good 10 centimetre, 10 centimetre circumference.
Okay.
Diameter. Yeah, just
Let's
big.
take a look at them and see if there's any weak points.
Right, okay, so first of all, Renyir, what are you doing? His leaf steps forward, he's
Having a look at all the places, like
moving across,
Checking out.
looking at the other edge, yep. Arnung?
Yeah.
I'm just letting Renyir and Leaf take charge. See if
Okay,
they can get us through.
okay.
I'm watching the rear. Just make sure we're not ambushed or anything.
Well, you look to your rear, but you also see that the smaller tunnel that leads into this big, large, ancient thoroughfare also heads north. Remember, so you're kind of scanning left and right as you look in both directions.
Mm.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll position myself so I can, in a way that I can see both.
Yep. Okay.
Put my hand to my neck while watching these three do their thing.
Arnung,
Yes, Leaf.
see these bars here? Can you put some of your weight behind them and see if you can shift them? I think they'll move.
Okay.
Try to keep the noise down as much as possible, but I think you've got this.
I'll approach as Leaf directed. I'll put my hand around it and pull.
It snaps. A lot.
Oh, wow.
With a lot less force than you were expecting. You go, and it literally just, and it's got that rusted, shattered looking, where metal is just eroded to almost being paper thin, and you just
Wrought
rip
iron.
a big lump straight out of it. Yep.
Is this we're talking wrought iron?
Yeah.
Shard like.
Yes.
So it's rusted through over the
Correct.
centuries.
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, how many years it's been down here for?
Absolutely. And
Oh.
the simple thing, as Leaf would mention, is nobody's allowed here. There's been no inspections. It has been hit with water over centuries. It's rusted through.
Is it big enough for it to get through? Or
Oh.
I'm gonna have to work on a few more.
Oh no, this is just one bar. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, work on the rest then.
Yep.
And that
very
is-
quickly he's just just some of it comes away from the rooftop. It all just breaks away in his hands. Very quickly your hands have that copper red brown look of where you've pulled on this rusted metal. It's coming away, it's flaking away. It just breaks away. It's not obviously like pulling on paper. You are a big man, you're a strong man, you're making it look effortless, but very quickly you just wade your way through with enough to safely pass by without worrying about catching. But always in the back of your mind, you don't want to make it easier for anyone running through the place. You leave it, no doubt, where it's just enough for you to get through, I would have thought. Or are you wanting to just clear out a good 6 foot wide entrance? literally kicking the shards away from the floor, tearing them away from the ceiling in case of running.
You say running. My running is I won't be able to run like they can.
No.
So I don't think it matters too much.
Okay.
So yeah, just do enough to get through.
Well, you're aware that you are making some noise. There is no way to smash and twist metal without it, and the noise does echo. No, the rest of you guys. What are you doing when he's pulling these metal bars to bits?
Giving a watch to the darkness.
You're looking down into the main mountain tunnel, yeah, into the ground. Okay, Leaf.
I'm just being quiet and listening.
Okay, you do your best to tune out Arnung's activities. Making it a background noise, as you know how to do, as you've spent your life training yourself to be able to do. Framling, anything that they're aware of?
While I was ruminating, in a gap in between the rending that Arnung's doing, I'll just when there's a pause, there's a clear space of absence of noise, I'll just say, there's something down there, and it knows we're here. So we're not alone.
We'll leave it there.
Excuse me.
Yeah, like, oh,
Yeah.
sprouts. That extra plate of cabbage I had at lunch. Oops.
Yeah. I've been sitting here waiting with my finger, and I've pressed the wrong growl. Oh, that's. Oh crap!
That sounded like a motorbike.
Yeah.
Really?
Just press the button and it goes, oh, no, that's not it.
Why, hello, and welcome to. Oh,
Not that one.
I'm assuming that growl came through.
Yeah, it did actually.
No.
It came through nice and clear.
Excellent. Yeah, so obviously I'm aware that we are getting close to, I think I don't know if your blinds are open there, Nevin, but it looks like it got lighter as the night went on.
It is, it's daytime here.
Yes. So, I'll start off with yourself, Nevin. I want to get then we'll move on to Holt and then Ivan and Talbot, who don't know any better. How do we feel? I mean, I know there was a lot of you listening in. There was some work there between Talbot and between Arnung and Leaf. Some development there. Actually, let's go to the beginning. Renyir. How's Framling dealing? What does he think happened there? Bear in mind that I know that you've got Framling's knowledge, which isn't necessarily public knowledge. So based on the public knowledge of what's going on, I think Holt might be wanting some answers.
Just a tad.
Oh, do you want, as in sorry, me? What?
Yeah, only in-game knowledge, of course.
Only in-game knowledge, yes. Yeah, well, you obviously had a friend. You had a friend that was tagged along. Maybe he's not a friend, not the sort of friend you wanted. That friend, that thing that, well, I wouldn't use the words possessed you, but yes, was possessing you and working on you.
Wait, I wouldn't use the word possessed, but yes, he's possessed you.
Yeah,
I like how
attached.
You're just all nonchalant about the whole thing. Like, yeah, it's nothing to worry about.
Well, Framling's like, yeah. Well,
just
sit panicking. It'll be hard to get a hold of him when I have to cut his head off. Oh, sorry. Release the spirit.
I was thinking, is Framling going to kill Renyir? I was actually, if I was a betting man, which I'm not.
It did cross my mind. I was just thinking, like,
yeah. And so passes Renyir. First of his name.
Last of his kind.
Pretty quickly. We're going to sort out. Don't worry, I'll sort it out. Right, anyways. So, to businessmen.
So Leaf has lots of men Arnung's just said he's got 100 men. I can see Holt having a quick stand in character. No chances. Bye, Renyir. Snap.
It's very. So yeah, look at the obviously something attached itself to you. That's why I said I wouldn't say possessed because you were still yourself. Something attached itself to you, and not a nice thing. Really, not a nice thing. Like, yeah. Well,
Nothing's been nice around you guys.
You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I've got a bit of athlete's foot. Oh, yeah, that's a bit awkward. It's more like, so I've got a touch of Ebola. We don't really want you around.
Or do you ruin there, fella?
Yeah. Where's everyone? Why am I bleeding everywhere? Well, it's a matter of time. Either the knife stabbed you or the hemorrhagic blood-borne virus will cause you to bleed out your eyes. So anyways, yes, that obviously was the nature of what was attached to you. And then fortunately, Framling has assets at his disposal to help remove that. Although the nature of how it was removed is somewhat of a shock to Framling as well, who was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Interesting. But of course, he's commenting with professional, like, oh, I expected that. Meanwhile, in the inside, no idea that was going to happen. Wow.
Left field.
Wow. I thought his head was going to blow up. But, oh, well, we'll go with this.
Oh, you're still alive? Huh.
Oh.
I'll pass that as a win for me.
Chalk that one down. It can work without the victim losing its head. Oh, okay.
Well, that's never happened before. What do you mean? Well, he's still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ!
Well done, you.
Yeah. But then,
so that was interesting.
And then from there, of course, Framling was listening into Arnung. Suddenly, again reminding Framling that the gap, those 30 years since he met him as a young man, and obviously when Framling first stepped aboard 6 days ago, stepped back on Empire soil to Arnung, walking down the street, he saw people getting out the way, including officials. And that seemed to get mixed in, hidden away between, when you've moved into Middenheim and getting into trouble a lot, or mainly Arnung getting told off by anyone and everyone, to suddenly Arnung quite, I think, what's the Shakespeare once described it as losing his shit. I think it was Macbeth.
Yeah. I think it's one of the soliloquies by Julius Caesar in the seminal play Julius Caesar, when he said, I'm going to fuck you up. Don't let me lose my shit. That's the words he used in a scene with Mark Anthony, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. Have some of that. So we've obviously listened to Arnung's speaking to Leaf. We find out Leaf turns out to be the illusion.
I need to listen to all this because although Kane was aware what was going on, yous weren't, but this entire building was shaking. And I was like, okay, we're having an earthquake. Hopefully the feed won't go out.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, at one point I disappeared off camera. I was looking at the bigger feed that I've got to the right, just to see if just to see
because it was like, oh, okay, right, we're having a large earthquake, yeah, okay. So I missed bits. I was a bit distracted at that stage. I was like, right, do I need to evacuate?
Yeah, well, that's it. So, I mean, I won't touch onto the area during the earthquake. So that's, obviously Leaf and Arnung got involved with that conversation. He's got down the sewer. But I think for me, it's what's going on in the background when you've got Framling. There's a lot of, from these guys' point of view, it's the esoteric arts. It's these skills that he brings. He's such a distinct character. We've got Leaf, who's obviously basically just admitted to being a cold, murdering psycho. Would you say, Leaf?
Yeah, basically.
Would you say?
I think he's a rather dispassionate character. He doesn't really value human life.
Yeah, psycho.
But he doesn't particularly have any malice either. It's not malicious.
That's exactly the definition of a psycho.
I wouldn't say a psycho, but
he feels absolutely nothing while he's stabbing people.
Something to do.
I based him on myself.
Awkward.
Shit.
I was going to describe it as a little bit aspy, but now I'm a little bit confused.
Aspie. So anyways, Doctor, I can't help myself. I mean, I stab people, but
I mean, I don't get it. Why are they crying?
What do you mean, please,
Can't
please?
hurt that much.
I'm not sure if Talbot's frozen. Is he still with us?
No, he's still there.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, is there? Yeah.
I just haven't seen a pout for the last couple of minutes.
So Leaf obviously is a sociopath, but he's a sociopath with a clear, defined goal in life.
That's
which
what
was,
we found out.
you know, no, it's not murder. It's to report back and basically work for Tal to
Well, that's
further
what
the
I was
cause.
gonna say. Yeah.
You know, the rest of it is kind of like, I mean, kind of the reason he was chosen is because he was kind of like, he really didn't value kind of like human life. He was there to kind of like to do his duty and not worry too much about anything else. So the rest of it is kind of like, it's all just noise around his life. He's been waiting for a long time to have for this kind of moment to come where he's been called by the cause that he's pledged oaths to, and now he's like, all right, now it's game on. But his interim character leading up to this point has been a reet cunt.
A good description of your backstory. How do you sum up your backstory? Well, he's a bit of a cunt.
Yeah, he is matter of factly kind of. He's kind of like the. He's a mafia enforcer. He's like the Iceman, you know. He kind of turns up, he kills you. It's money. I'm sorry, it's business. Bye bye, you know. And he's dispassionate about that. He's done
psycho.
Well,
just
yeah,
defined
he
by
is.
the Iceman.
But
The Iceman.
And that's the thing is, you know, Framling, obviously, you know, there's still an up in the air. There's still some background knowledge. You've got Leaf, you've got Arnung, who are, you know, they've discussed Ulmacor, they've discussed Framling and that sort of thing. And obviously you've got, you know, this incredibly powerful guy that Leaf has waited his entire life for, like many people before him, but never had the opportunity to work for the man. He's dedicated to hell. And then from Framling's point of view, he's actually going, yeah, that's actually what I wanted. You know, do you think that finding out Leaf is the Iceman, is the killer, Oberlander's killer? Of course, it was mixed in that he's saying, well, Oberlander's actually my friend, and then Arnung's just...
Guavito.
Well, actually, Arnung was about to have him killed until Framling made him up. You know, and Leaf
just asked nicely.
And Leaf just sort of went, yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's got to... Did that, I don't know if you'd picked up on that. I don't know if Framling picked up on that. I don't know if Nevin did because of the earthquake. Just for me, I think, when you go, oh yeah, he was my mate, best friend, grew up with him. So, what's for tea? Do you think that Leaf is the pinnacle of what the Brotherhood of the Stag was meant to be, or is this the gone too far? It'll be interesting to find out. I would have thought.
I think at this stage in his life, Framling's is losing touch with humanity, anyways, and he's looking at people as more as tools in a grander thing. They're temporary. They're going to die because they live such short lives in the greater scheme of things, and I think he is struggling with the idea that, oh well, someone's died. Oh well, yeah, okay, but you're going to die anyways. He's almost like, you know, he's almost becoming like almost as dispassionate as the Alpha, you know, like, oh well, you know, you spark brightly, then you just go away.
Which is Leaf's entire kind of like mythos. That's how he thinks, because he's never been part of society as such. He's always been the outsider. So he mirrors Framling quite nicely. You know, he's like, oh, I really liked him. I'm sad he's dead.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Next,
Yeah.
please.
Do you think Framling can see the parallel between Leaf and a young Arnhem?
Well, I guess, I mean, I don't know if a young Arnhem, I don't think was as cold He hasn't. He still had emotions back then. He was just he would do what needed to be done as a professional, but it still had possibly an effect on him. But obviously, Leaf's taken it to a new level where he's cold. He's very cold, very dispassionate, almost disinterested in life. Like, okay, whatever.
He was literally. I mean, like the character Leaf was amused at Arnung's outburst and thought, "That's not something I could ever do. I could never lose my temper like that. Why is he so upset?"
So basically, what we're seeing there is Leaf hasn't got the passion in any direction, whether it be aggression or upset or insulted. He's not feeling these strong emotions across the board.
No, he's dead. He's emotionally dead by the sounds of it. Which is sort of like, on a human level, interacting with the rest of the society, you've got a stone cold psycho here.
It's not just that though. It's I think the way I'm trying to portray the character is
but with purpose. I think he's got purpose. He's not just a wandering killing machine.
He's been handed a purpose and a function, and he's made some oaths, and he agrees with them. He understands the kind of like the need for this to be kind of like held in high regard. The rest of it is all fancy dress for him.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing for Framling is that he set up these individual temples with individual command and control systems. They're separate from each other, and that's for a reason. And one produced Arnhem, and the other one's produced Leaf, and they're similar, but the differences are huge. And it's like, so why is this particular temple churning out a Leaf, and this other one's churned out an Arnhem and a Fordell? And that's as curious to him as well, as in he also has to bear in mind that when he sets these long players off, which may take a century or two, the evolution at the end of it's like, well, the Leaf army turned into, oh my god. So he is aware of that long play, as in that's why I don't remember last episode. I was asking, where's your offsider? Where's your partner? Oh, I don't have one. And that's something if we get through the gurgling terror voice that came down he'll be thinking, I need to go and look at these structures again. What's going on? Are they diverging from the path I've set them? They've got some clear goals, and that's why he said to Arnhem, like, you've got your life and you do what you need to do, and that doesn't concern me because it doesn't. But he is aware that also that in terms of the long game, I don't want to come back in 6 centuries, and you go, and everyone died because the Leafs of the world took over. Wait a minute.
That
I've saved you.
Go on,
saved you from a greater evil. I was just saying, I've saved you from a greater evil to produce a greater evil.
So it does lead on to a question I don't think can be answered at this point. You've got Leaf, who's in his 30s, which was how old Arnung was when Framling first met him and Fordell. Leaf's heard of Fordell in his mumbled, half unconscious state during his injury. Obviously, even to Leaf, this Fordell was somebody that was of great importance to Arnung. Now, what you've got Leaf, who's obviously a lot colder at this age than Arnung ever was. And Arnung had this Fordell in his life. Leaf clearly hasn't. Leaf has forged his way forward. But what I'm suddenly thinking of is Arnung went on and without, he had his adventure with Framling, and Framling vanished. He then progressed with his own personal life. He's married, he's got children. Leaf clearly hasn't. Leaf is essentially unable to form relationships in that sense. And what I'm getting at is, and again, I don't know, and this is obviously completely in the sense of, can we hypothesize? Do you think Framling's of a mind that Leaf is the pure killer, he's going to get the job done, and yes, Arnung is, and Arnung has that past connection, and he didn't fail him, he was successful in his task. But the crux of it is, Arnung is looking at it from a family man point of view, he's looking at a dynasty, as it were, and Framling's going to be... This is the first time Framling's come along and went, the man that's supposed to put his life down because I tell him to, for my cause, he's got a wife and kids, I don't care. Or does he? Because I don't think Framling's had to face what Arnung's put in front of him.
And that's the thing. He's going to still trying to weigh up the fact of he's trying to protect humanity, but what's he trying to protect it from? And does he want to create does he want to just create Leaf tools that are cold and dead, or does he want to create Arnhem tools which may be slightly messier to control, but ultimately that's humanity he wants to keep for humanity, or does he just want to replicate? Oh, like I got rid of the things that have been attacking humanity and created my own savage humanity.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, with Leaf, he's not savage.
No. But what I'm saying is,
He wouldn't. The difference between Arnung and Leaf is this: Arnung would kill somebody because they pissed him off. Leaf would only kill somebody if they were in the way.
There was no comment from Talbot there. I think we could accept that as an agreement.
But he would.
Principle.
Arnung is passionate. He's easy to rile. He gets you could see him struggling.
Easy to rile.
Even when he was being told off, you could observe that he wasn't happy, but he was biting his tongue. Where if it was Leaf on the other side, he would just go, "All right, no problem," and then 2 days later, the guy would be out of the way anyway. It would make no difference. It's part of the mystique of Leaf has always been, but he didn't seem upset about it. So why would Leaf be involved? He's hyper rational. He might be affected by what's being said, but he'd never play the hand that openly.
So what you're saying is that Leaf is as emotional as Arnung, but he has a tighter control over it, and he won't.
Yeah.
He's got poker face. He's still getting wound up at being told off, and that man's he's never going to be seen again because I will kill you for talking to me like that. Whereas Arnung, in your face, is going to snap your neck. The guy's going to end up with a snap neck, but Leaf's going to he'll never know that the guy will never know he's pissed Leaf off.
Yeah, and
so
Leaf
he does have emotion.
He shifts between different characters, and at the moment, Leaf, the character he's playing, Leaf, is that way.
Hence the man with many faces. He's
exactly that.
Whatever
he is.
He's definitely a sociopath.
Oh, without a doubt, he's a sociopath. But I wouldn't say he's a complete cold-hearted killer, because he's not a cold-hearted killer. He does kind of go, but it's unfortunate that you have to die, but this is my role in life, and you have to get out of the way.
It's unfortunate you have to die, but you've pissed me off.
But he might also turn around and go, listen, it's not a good idea to go down the path you're at. If you deviate from that path, good things could happen. If you don't deviate from the path, bad things will happen. And give people a subtle way out, But
it's really going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me. But if it has to happen, I will cut your head off. What?
Yeah, he's dispassionate about it because he's used to it. Let's say he's been doing this for the last 15 years. There's countless bodies, but
all in my name.
Well, it was you and Oberlander. It was you and Oberlander that give the cliff the name, the Cliff of Sighs, because of the sound of people disappearing over the edge. Anybody hear that? I'll move on.
Called the Cliff of Sighs because of Leaf's apathy as he pushes them off. Now he's like, oh.
Well, I want to move on to
down now.
I want Holt to be able to have a chat. Obviously, Holt Renyir's had I think he's got a lot of peace of mind because of his direct impact with Framling. I think today's episode was Renyir and Framling. Arnung gave him some love cuddles, stopped him from vibrating himself out the building. He didn't have much of an interaction with Leaf tonight, and I think that Renyir's sort of like a little psycho in himself. The guys are he's very good at what he does. He subtly gets behind people and tries to stab everything. And I mean everything. He stabbed Arnung's bloody, dummy that he'd picked up the clothes off of because it looked at him funny. No matter what's happening, Renyir's behind it, giving it. Right? He's actually worse than Arnung and Leaf. He stabbed shit. Right? He stabbed chairs. People walk past in the street. He sidles up behind them just in case.
He actually enjoys that shit.
Yeah, he's got blood samples from a cow just in case, I've got too close. But tonight was all about Renyir and Framling as far as their interaction was concerned. Obviously, on one side, Renyir's constantly covered with, you could do that. And then, how do you think Renyir felt? Renyir took a big chance. There can't be any shadow of a doubt to anybody watching. Framling is by far the most dangerous instant death moment you could come across, right? Not many people get to piss Framling off and walk. Nobody, in fact, has pissed Framling off and walked away alive. And yet Renyir suddenly goes, yeah, I feel a bit. Well, I think the understatement of the century was, I feel a little bit off. Right, as Arnung holds him down and 4 shadows rise up from his back. That's you feeling a little bit down? Renyir took a big chance, do you not think?
Yeah, but it's Framling's fault.
It's Framling's fault.
Yes, give me the blood of the boy. Give me the blood of the boy. No. I'm just gonna take it anyway.
Nevin, I think your camera's frozen again.
Frozen again. Okay.
Yeah. I can hear you laughing, but you're not moving. Weird.
My stillness.
That's the thing is I'm trying to get to the bottom of from the Renyir point of view is neither Leaf nor Arnung have actually really had to sort of put their life in Framling's hands and his aggression or his potential. You are not worth the risk. And yet Renyir stepped forward and clearly was putting his neck out on the chopping block. What made Renyir think that Framling wasn't going to kill him, or was it just Renyir wasn't willing to take the chance himself?
He wasn't willing to share his body with anyone. I was like, get out.
So he was literally like, if Framling just goes, nope, that says a lot about Renyir.
I could have just easily as was pointed out, I could have just went, well, you're a small cog, very small cog in this wheel. There's an issue here with what's infecting you that I don't like. Hey, well, the simplest way of doing this is, right, well, there's no longer a host.
Yeah, and I think that's the shock. When anybody looks at this, anybody's watching this and the whole situation, and obviously what Framling discovered, what he brought out in front of Arnung, and I know Leaf didn't get to see this, so he's completely unaware. I'm just wondering, was it more telling that Renyir trusts Framling, or that he was that desperate and that concerned about what was happening that he didn't care for his own life at that point? Or are we seeing another aspect of Framling? I mean, that's what I want to get at from you, Holt, anyways. What the hell? Renyir took a big chance, didn't see it coming, and that's simply because he just wasn't willing to share.
No, it was more... It's like Framling's there, and that thing's talking in my head. It's like, I was tempted. I was not going to go that way.
Well, now that it's gone, do you want to share what was going on in your head with the rest of the class?
No.
No?
That's staying stump.
No, that's okay. All right.
That's going to be tormented. So, yeah.
You want to keep that a secret. All right. Well, I mean, that was just from my point of view. I mean, obviously, Renyir still had a very active off-camera session, but that was the big tell for me. That was the big eye opener. That he trusted Framling, and Framling came good. He didn't just snap your neck or blow you up, which he just did to two people an hour beforehand.
Yeah,
but it was the perfect timing to do it, wasn't it?
You think? What?
Well, Framling might have been reticent before the big, large explosion of people, but he's already exposed, so it's not such a big deal anymore. You know what I mean?
See, for me, as a person, I would have been even more terrified about going to Framling.
Because I've already just exposed. I've already just shown things that I'm here. A little bit of extra fireworks might mean nothing. Given the fact of what it was, I might have just went, well, this is easier.
Yeah.
That was it.
It takes a lot less to blow up a small person than it does two full-grown men. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how Renyir goes forward. He's leading the way. He's got a little bit of newfound confidence in Framling, at least. Perhaps that even helps Leaf and Arnung be a bit more truthful. But Arnung had said just beforehand, no more lies, no more secrets. But bloody hell, that was a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing Renyir had experienced in the 6 days leading up to that could have possibly have had me thinking that he was going to go down that route. I was shocked.
No, it's because the demon's been after him. And then I've been cut, so I go to Framling and ask him to sort it out. He goes, nah, it's just a flesh wound.
It was just a graze. You caught it. Mm-hmm. Probably scratched yourself when having an itch. I mean, Arnung, Talbot, Arnung was there. Does Arnung know what happened? Does he know what the hell was going on?
He's got an eye. I think all the years and all the things you've seen, and most recently the things that have been going on around him, I think he gets the idea that there's these things that they're clearly up against that we have literally no power over, and that's basically Framling's area of expertise, and we have our goals very clear. Just clear the road, and so he's got a clear shot at all the big nasty shadowy things.
So all we know is that Renyir felt a little bit off.
Yeah.
Framling steps in, stares into his eye, shouts at him, 4 shadows rise up. Does whatever it is, but I think it was also touching
because
afterwards.
instinctively, I mean, when I was Arnung was by the door, looking in, he saw the shadows rise up, and then instinctively he went to its sword, looked at Framling, and then Framling at that point said, "Look, I'm going to need you to hold him down." So I've obviously got trust. Arnung has that trust in Framling to say, right, okay, this is. I've got to do I've got to do as I'm told, because there's nothing else I can do. I can't just hack into these. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, true.
I can't take these. This isn't my fight. So I just said, right, okay, get the boy. No questions asked. I mean, at that point, if he just said, no, we're going to have to get rid of the boy, kill him, then would have had to be done. Would have just had to be done.
See, Framling, you don't even have to. Sorry, David. Framling doesn't even have to worry about blowing people up. He just goes, and neck him.
Yeah,
and then Leaf and Arnung will be charging over each other. Well, he said. Yeah.
I thought it was quite funny, the last session when Oberlander was giving him shit, because Leaf genuinely thought he was actually joking. Because obviously he's his friend, and he's going nice, and there's kind of like an actual strong friendship there, and he's giving on him the shit, and he's expecting Oberlander or Vito to turn around and literally go, "I was only joking, I was just having a laugh with you. We're all good." And I thought he was actually going to kind of refer to me, or at least come to me and speak to us. So I'm sitting there going, kind of, "Oh, you just threatened his family. I think I've just jumped ship here. That was fucking stupid. And then kind of like shit hits the fan. He's sitting there going, "Oh, all right then." Out of my hands, but I mean, it was fucking weird because I mean, from my perspective, it's kind of like me best mate is. What is he doing? This is fucking Arnung. Everybody knows who he is, and I know him as kind of like I mean, Vito was powerful in his own right, but kind of like nothing like what was in the room, And it was kind of like it was funny watching it, just kind of like all kick off and going, oh, because Leaf didn't move, he just watched.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the clear thing, a fallout between Arnung and Leaf, which, of course, continued on today when Arnung, I noticed right at the beginning, Talbot went, and Framling went, right! and Arnung's finger went, no problem, we're all ready!
Yeah, because that scene was cut in half. Obviously,
it was.
We ended at the point, and the point is, Framling basically lost his rag at that point, and it was the fallout of I've lost my rag. This is he didn't just sort of go bang, and that's it. We'll move on. It's like there's a reason why he did that, and he lost his rag. He's Semnathai. Ultimately, still at his core, he can't help himself. Sometimes he just goes back to type to what he was brought up as, which is. Well, I'm this person from this, this order, and I expect total obedience. And what are you fuckers doing? Right.
Oops. That one was a friend. Bugger it.
That was a bit chewy.
Wasn't my friend.
Well. I mean, I know that we're pretty much we've hit on the end of the time. I didn't get a chance to talk too much about Arnung's activities tonight. I know we've got to let Nevin go. Holt, I don't know if you've got a couple of more minutes just for Talbot to have his to be here for Talbot. Talbot's conversation, find out how he took tonight's game.
Go on.
Well, Evan, thank you very much. As always, it was a pleasure to see Framling.
Yeah. It was a good session. Looking forward to next week. Really looking forward to next week.
Oh,
yeah. And hopefully it'll be less shaky where I am.
Less earthquakes and down into the tunnels with the growl. Right, lads, something's down here. Roar! Yep.
Okay.
And it knows it knows we're here. That's it.
Right. See, I told you. I did give you a warning. Thanks. 2 seconds before it happened.
As it growled over the top of your description. Well, mate, thanks very
All right.
much. We'll see you
Take
next
care.
week,
See you.
same time.
See you
All
later,
right,
mate.
Cheers.
So yeah, Tom, I'm sorry, mate. We ran out of time for you to have, and I'm hoping that it wasn't you weren't. I want to talk to Nevin about this, but yeah. Oh, you moved over. That's freaking us out. I don't know how to fix that. Well. Yeah. So, how's Arnung's obviously had his big scene last week. I know we talked last week about that, and I'm also aware that I think everybody was expecting Arnung to continue, in fact, but it didn't happen. Framling steps in, he gives clear orders. Arnung's got no choice. Leaf is a follower. Arnung's got no choice but to follow. That's the way that things are. But you did get a talk to Leaf. You had that moment where you were talking about the future, and obviously Leaf has basically went, well, clearly put an olive branch out there. He could have been a problem, being Oberlander's number 2 and friend, but he did actually in the end go, you know what, I can run this for you. I can in your name, that sort of sense. He could rule the city. You've got Nordland. Is Arnung looking that far ahead, or is it just that does he have the ability to sort of go, right now it's a problem, but as soon as Framling calls, it's something to deal with it? Well, clearly, we've seen the last 15 years of your planning, of Arnung's planning, come to fruition. But does he? You had that chance to talk to Arnung, had a chance to talk to Leaf. Where do you think you're going with that?
I think it's something that wouldn't be in Arnung's mind just now, because this is still very, very new, very raw. Because bear in mind, there's obviously this case with Goebbels, which he's unaware of. He doesn't know how he fits into this, so he's waiting to see how that sort of progresses and pans out. So until that happens, I can't really make my move. And there's this issue regarding Leaf, and although yes, he's Brotherhood, there's still a lot of things which he's unsure about, and how much he can open up to Leaf, and how much he can then bring him in as someone he can sort of trust.
Well, I mean, from what I was trying to intimate, Leaf really doesn't want to be running the show.
Oh yeah,
he has no ambition. Leaf just needs kind of like a purpose. He's already wealthy as what he needs to be. He's been doing this for a long time, and he's ran his own section of the city for a long time, and it's actually one of the probably one of the more profitable ones, because this is where all the scallywags hang. Rich man wanders through the wrong part of town. Well, he's skint, and I'm rich. So
he's lost his pants.
So Leaf is in my mind independently wealthy, but you notice he's not running around blinged to bits. He doesn't give a shit. He just needs his purpose, and he doesn't want to lead because it's a distraction from his actual purpose, which is to report back and make sure kind of like Tal is represented correctly in the area. He's been wrecking fucking witches, and anybody who appears to be a wrong'un for quite a long time is a kind of independent kind of like thing, and a lot of it kind of like crossed over with his kind of contract work, as it were. So he has no designs, and I hope that came across. He has no designs on running the show, but he wants to. Obviously, he's stationed here by his temple. He's been sent here. He's not going anywhere, so he might as well just go, well, okay, slot into somewhere and just go and continue as he was doing, because he's good at it.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's more from Arnung's point of view that, I mean, it's only been, a day, 2 tops that we've met Leaf. He's met Leaf. He doesn't really fully understand. Yes, he's been told certain things. But I think as far as Arnung and his history is concerned, Arnung's very much about having people close to him that he's built sort of a relationship with and he really wholeheartedly trusts. He doesn't have that with Leaf just yet, so
Yeah.
there's going to be sort of.
I think with the counterpart with Leaf is your brotherhood. So you're beyond reproach. Do you know what I mean? He's already went Arnung's sound. I don't have to worry about Arnung. So there's a different approach to what the oaths have been when it comes to, I think, with Arnung and Leaf. Because Leaf is basically fully indoctrinated. He believes in what he's doing, and there is no question. Framling is in charge. Arnung second's in charge. Leaf will follow orders and do his duty because he is literally without ambition.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I suppose, that from my point of view, when I was pointing that out, does Arnung see that in Leaf? Even after a couple of days, he must see. Obviously, because there's literally 3 decades of experience, trauma, and life between the two guys. Arnung is literally double Leaf's age. He was fighting in the wars when Leaf was literally born. Arnung was already a veteran of war. Do you think Arnung sees in Leaf the unbroken stag? And obviously Arnung is trying to deal with the return of the stag in his life.
Yeah, it's more because the Brotherhood was very much on the back of his mind up until, say, 7 or 8, just a week ago. Brotherhood was totally a long distant memory.
Yeah.
It's only when Leaf sort of made his return to say, well, this is your oath. And it was only then when he sort of started oath, and then all those memories started coming back about, the loss of his long friend. That really hit home, and he was struggling. I mean, those last few episodes was him struggling through the grief, and because it all came back just from Framling's return, it all came back. And then Leaf, surprising us with I'm Brotherhood as well, and I'm like, what? I haven't seen them for a while either. I didn't realize these guys were. Yeah?
He's still so powerfully indoctrinated, and is indoctrinated as you would expect within the Brotherhood. Is he reminding you of? Is this a reflection of Fordell? He must be. Is Leaf reminding Arnung of that connection that he had with his orphan, adopted sibling? Because he's were connected. Fordell and Arnung wanted to face the world. These were Brotherhood of the Stag, as well as whatever comes along, which is pretty much what Leaf's bringing back into Arnung's life.
I think it's still something that is to develop. I don't think he's there yet. I don't think Arnung's there enough to say, we're brothers, and there's a brotherhood. And I think in the conversation with Leaf, he did say that, look, to him, as things stands, it's all about the promise and the oaths he's made. It's less about, I'm brotherhood, I'm fatal. I think he's stepped away. He's been out of that.
Well, he's retired. He's been retired.
Long. He's retired, so he's never really thought, I'm doing this for Tal or I'm doing this for the Brotherhood. It's more about me, and he made that clear that once my promises are often being fulfilled, then
you're off to live your life.
Off. Yeah.
No, what I mean is, do you think Leaf's reminding Arnung of Fordell? That's why it's difficult.
I don't think so.
I don't think Leaf's making him want to jump in with both feet like a younger man would. He's beyond the patriotism, the patriotic sort of feel of it. He's more along the lines of, all right, fair enough. I did swear that oath, but it's I'm not living and breathing it like Leaf is. But you've already answered the first part of the question, which is no. Leaf is not reminding him of what it's like to be part of that. He's just reminding him of the pain of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the Leaf is a reminder of. You're right. It's a reminder of the pain, where the moment he had, the concern he had for Renyir is a different kind of pain, because he's starting to see Renyir in a different light. There was a deliberate worry there from Arnung to say to sort of get you to notice that there's a change in Arnung. Why was he concerned about this boy all of a sudden? That he was different. He does see a purpose. that's something to be explored and something that is to develop in Arnung in the story, because it's not over yet. But as things stands, no, I don't see Leaf as a connection to the past, to Fodell in any way. It's not that. It's more, I think, the reminder of the indoctrination the Brotherhood had, and I don't know if it's more. It could be because he didn't like it, because it was so heavily done, or this is, you must follow this is you're indoctrinated to that level, and maybe Arnung broke away from that and became that free man, and he enjoyed the freedom, and now he's sort of been brought back to go, oh, remember your oath. I'm like, shut up, I don't care about the oath. Yeah, I made an oath. Yeah, I'll fulfill it, but maybe I don't care.
It doesn't define you.
But the thing I struggle with that attitude is that the proof. I mean, if you draw parallels with like modern religions now, it's all about kind of like faith. But you've literally got Framling stand in front of you as proof that your belief is solid and real. So Leaf saying this, he's been dutiful up to this point, but now he's fanatical. Everything that he believed and was indoctrinated into has been proven to him by Arnung and Framling turning up in his life. It's like confirmed you're on the right path. So he, as far as he's concerned, kind of like there's he's going to be dogmatically reliable now. Although I mean, at some point he might have had doubts and all this kind of thing. What am I doing with this? Why don't I just kind of like drop it all and bugger off?
Carve my own destiny and make a life for myself. But
as I say,
it turns out to be true and it's real, and he's on that path and he's happy that he's stuck to it now.
Yeah, exactly that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that I could answer for Talbot, but I don't want to. I mean, I want Talbot to answer that when Ivan's just pointing out how Leaf is so fanatical that if he had doubts, but his faith has been proven, why is he so, this is it, this is what I was trained for, my God, there's Framling, shit! And yet, Talbot, Arnung is clearly, yeah, there's fucking Framling.
But it's the difference between a recruit and a veteran, isn't it?
I think there's more to that. And I think that the last few... Well, you know what, Talbot? What's your answer?
I mean, it's because, I mean, it's what you said earlier, and you touched on this, is that Arnung met Framling when he was your age. And that's when his journey began with Framling. And since then, a lot happened. A lot happened in between, which clearly broke him. It's not so much that he was never fanatical or he didn't have a belief. I mean, being fanatical and having a belief is two separate things. I mean, you can have a belief in something but not be fanatical. Say, oh yeah, I understand that he's the son of Tal. I get it. But what's Tal done for me? Yeah, I can say I've set me legions to. Yeah, I'm part of the Brotherhood. Great. They've offered me this training. They took me up the street, show me the way. And I'm here because of the training they're offered. Fine, great. But the real reason why I'm here could be is another god entirely. It wasn't Tal. I'm not here because of Tal, or am I? Like I said, it's not about the belief. It's not. I'm not thinking religion or being a fanatic towards a cause. It's more. Arnung is now at a stage where he says, no, for me, and all that speech with Oberlander is like, for me, it's about the promise I make with people and the connections I have with the people around me. And that's what matters, because at the end of the day, at some point, I'm going to get old. I'm going to eventually die. And it's the legacy that I leave behind matters more to me than being just momentarily fanatical about a cause. I want to, maybe he's all about, well, what have I got left? I mean, what am I going to leave behind?
Yeah, I think Arnung's quite a passionate character, though, isn't he? He's he cares about people and he makes these connections, and that's what drives him at the end of the day is his passion and his emotional state, and his ambition. and I think that's why Leaf's quite an interesting counterpart. And I mean, obviously, I've tried to play him as kind of like as a he's a facilitator at the end of the day, but I've tried to kind of like counterbalance Arnung's kind of passion and kind of like an emotional state with someone who was completely devoid of those things.
It's an interesting path you've set Leaf upon, where he's fanatical about the fact that his belief system has come true. I mean, all characters should know the gods exist. It's not one of those things where you think, do you believe in the gods? Well, you bloody better, because they're now and then set fire to you.
They're there being pissed off killing their mate.
Exactly, you know, they're taking up the toilet, you know, they're at the front of the queue. They just bought the last paper. I think what I'd like to see is the conversation between, and that's the development side of it, is between Leaf and Arnung, where Leaf goes, I don't understand how you're treating him just like any other person. This is an immortal, this is the son of a god, and that's how Leaf can, because as you point out, Leaf must be going, I don't understand the cold disrespect compared to the level you're putting Framling, which is correct it's a fucking demigod, it's the son of the god, the manger, the most powerful, the ancient father, the father of the gods. And you got Talbot going at one point, Arnung at one point during this evening's session of, giving him grief. You know, but you keep on doing this shit. You got to effing stop. You know, and you're like, oh.
But the difference between kind of like what you need to draw from Leith is he is hyper rational. So when he's very observant. So obviously he's already seen that Arnung's been damaged by the being a veteran. He's clearly has kind of issues mentally. Which is he's full of regret and remorse and kind of like in pain and but Leaf kind of like, although he's a dispassionate character, he can read people like a book, and he says this and he goes, well, yeah, I understand why he's behaving like that. Personally, he wouldn't do it though. He'd keep it under his hat and kind of like and be and show deference to Framling, but he understands that kind of like. He also understands because of his experience that the older you get, the more curmudgeon you get, the more kind of belligerent you get in your general discourse. And so this guy's an older guy. He's dealt with older guys all his life. I mean, he's had to deal with the fucking arsehole lieutenants of Middenheim for a long time. He's used to this type of behaviour and this type of disrespect, and he understands it's more of an organic kind of thing than just, I'm going to be a knob to you. It's not about that. It's the culmination of life experience blurting its way out and going, fuck yous all, you little bastards. You know, I've had enough of this shit. Get off me lawn. It is what it is, because that's how human beings evolve over time. He understands all of this stuff, so he's not going to go, you're being disrespectful to my demigod. He's just going to be kind of like, Framling will tell you. Because I'm not his bodyguard.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I would just like to see more interactions, not a conversation that's about how to solve tonight's problem. I want to see... I would like to see...
You know how I behave.
Yeah, but just be drawn into conversation and see how... Because I think what we're missing out on is the development. I know, and a lot of these guys are picking up on Leaf, and maybe it is the fact that Leaf is a very closed book and we're getting what we're going to get. But I think it would be nice to see a moment, probably not right now, as something just growled at you from the tunnel.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be now to go, right, let's have a breakthrough here. But I think we should be open to...
We haven't had that moment of shared adversity yet.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Actually, good point. Yeah. I mean, you've been chased by a demon through the sewers twice, but...
not something that Leaf felt threatened by, because... As soon as that started, he knew that it was something to do with Framling, and Framling was the kind of like the...
He stepped up.
Do you know what I mean? But Framling was also the target. We were immaterial. Leaf thinks very little of human life. I've been trying to kind of push that across, like kind of like
Yeah, it
violence
definitely works.
solves everything, blah, blah. And so he understands his own insignificance.
And that's key. Because where you've got clearly Renyir and like Arnung, as normal people, want to live. Leaf is, I'm here to do a job, and I know that I'm going to heaven.
So be it.
So no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Alright. As
I
long
mean,
as I do
I-
me,
I-
as long as I do
mean,
me job
that's-
by Framling, I'm doing me God by. I'm doing the right by. If as long as I do me job by Framling, I'm doing right by Tal. I'm in.
I don't have that.
No.
It's not. I mean, it's not even kind of like about a kind of like a final reward or anything, though. It's kind of like it's. I mean, obviously, Leaf's an orphan. There's actual quite striking comparisons in between kind of like Arnung and what was his name?
Fordell.
Fordell. Because I mean, obviously, kind of like the difference being that kind of like Leaf was a kind of like an orphan who was taken in by the temple, who was then trained, indoctrinated, and then set free, and that's when he made his connection with Vito. So kind of like and the other boys he ran with back in the day, but he's always been kind of like he's never been the kind of like the funny one or the kind of like the caring one. He's always been the useful one.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Just to qualify, in case Holt and Talbot missed this, Vito was actually Oberlander's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did hear him say that.
I got that. Anyway, yeah, I got that from this description. That was Vito.
Yeah, just in case you thought he was making an actual a Godfather reference. Oberlander's actual name. Oberlander was a title.
But he's more angry at Oberlander for not coming to him and speaking to him about the situation privately and saying kind of like, and basically being warned off.
Yeah.
Because Leaf would have warned him off and said, do not come anywhere fucking near any of this.
Absolutely.
Not yours,
Yeah, now we're going to see what happens with Goebbels.
And that would have diffused the entire thing, I think, because there was enough. I mean, you don't kind of like go to the guy who does all of the killing for you and go, well, I'm going to disrespect you now. He's just going to fucking kill you, ain't he?
So Leaf feels that Oberlander disrespected him by marching straight into.
He's more angry at Oberlander for the way he behaved than he is for the others for killing him.
No,
he
felt
that the killing was absolutely justified because you don't threaten someone's family ever. That was kind of like, oh well, I'm never going to defend someone like that.
Yeah. So I mean, it just shows
came
that
to me, showed me the respect that you should have showed me, then there would have been kind of like a no issue on this.
Yeah. It's an interesting tell. Well,
yeah.
We're getting on for half past. Last one is for yourself, Holt. How's Renyir dealing with these Brotherhood of the Stag monsters, stabby killers, and exploding mind game magic users?
Not well. Not well. It's been a very bad week.
I wonder what Renyir's hoping to get out of this except a longer life. Just another day.
No, I've already said something, so...
Yeah, I heard that. But I wasn't in the room.
Oh, what?
You did that. I can't remember his name, but you offered a prayer to, what was his fucking face?
Ronald.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. Was it the other one? I'm sure I heard the name. He mentioned the name earlier, kind of like when I joined, and everyone was like, "What?" And I'm sure he said
that Ronald or the Raven God?
Something like that. There was a slip.
Yeah, so obviously in-game was a few weeks back. In-game he went, he put a prayer to Ronald, which made you then, Arnung then told him off at the pub.
Yeah.
But out of game, obviously, knowledge metagame is, yes, he mentioned Ronald, yeah.
Now everyone let it go.
Yeah, you know when you're
And that
surrounded
wasn't
by
in
the
the
most
rules,
powerful
so-
Talites in the country, and one little kid's giving it Ronald, you're like, whatever.
But I just assumed it was kind of like the. I mean, I you know, I kind of like leaf pegged you. Renyir is a wrong'un pretty much immediately, and said, he's a wrong'un. I don't trust him. You know. So whatever transpires, he's probably just going to go tell you so. You know.
And Arnung actually said, I mean, that's again, Leaf wasn't there when Arnung said to Renyir, I need you. And it wasn't done in a weird, dropping the soap way. It was done in a bonding way. But a Leaf wasn't there for that either. Yeah, such a shame. But anyway, guys, I had a blast. I hope you did. I thought it was another good episode. I love the development of it, and I just love the fact that we ended up finishing with a growl at the moment that Framling's going, right, lads, you need to be aware. Roar! There's a thing, and it knows we're here. That's it. But I can't wait for next week. Anybody that's watching this now on YouTube, please look back through our previous stuff. I'm sticking all the reruns on there. Find out who Leaf is, where Arnung's come from in his past, and where Renyir's hoping to be. And never mind the fact that how far back do you need to go to find out what Framling's up to, this overall story. So thanks very much for anybody that has watched. Get onto Twitch, hit us with a follow and a sub. Obviously subs are free on YouTube. Would love to see more of them. But otherwise, guys, I don't know if there's anything else you want to say before we shoot.
No. Just give us some
Framling
love.
did it.
Help us grow.
Help us grow.
Follow the pack.
You
Oh,
motherfucker.
what's that? Wait, which one is it?
Guys, thanks very much. I'm going to hit with the end credits, and we will see you next week. Next week is going to be a possible followed by a week's gap. I know that we've definitely got next week, haven't we? Before Talbot's away. I think we've got one more week. Then we're going to have a bit of a potential gap, but we'll see what happens. We'll see you next week for number 35, episode 17. The underway, and we'll find out what that growl is. I don't think we're going to have much of a talkie. Could be lots of running. We'll see how cold Leaf is when you come up against something with far too many teeth. So good
I
night.
literally just dress bloody Arnung in armour so you can hide behind him. That way. He's cold.
I was going to leave that for you to go. As soon as rah! What are you doing, Leaf? I'm running.
Why is you on Arnung in armour? Well, because I'm hiding behind him.
And he put it on straight away. Oh my!
Yeah, man.
You're like, yeah, meat shield.
Hey, he recognises people's strengths and plays them. He's not stupid, you know.
Arnung's pouting again. I should say Talbot's pouting again.
Well, the thing is, Arnung's the most powerful kind of like weapon we have for keeping us alive because he appears to be immortal too.
That helps.
You know what I mean? Leafs recognise this. He
there's a
adapts
difference
very quickly to
between
this
immortal
new information.
and getting stabbed and having a respite and waking up again.
Leaf heard him say, "I've been stabbed, I've been this, I've been that, and no one's ever put me down." And
No, I
Leaf's like,
can't wait if we ever do get a revisit Arnung's story. It'd be so funny to say, yeah, he's clearly immortal. Yeah, look at him, he's nails, isn't he? And just actually the story is very different.
He's hard as nails, him. You can't put him down. Actually, I think the best description is he's a survivor. He just happens to survive each encounter.
you see,
Oh,
and
I'm alive?
the people standing behind him will have a better chance of survival than won't they?
That's it, because everything just spends all its time trying to carve up Arnung. Well, guys, thanks very much. Tune in, and I'll see you three and Nevin next week, same time, to deal with the underway. So thanks very much, guys. Good night.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Bye.